Hello, chat. Hello, hello. Can you all hear me? Give me a thumbs up in chat if y'all can hear me, please. I'm pulling up some footage right now. Turning down the background music here.
You want to share your screen in Discord too, so there's not a delay?
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Give me a second here. Yeah, if you both want to watch on the shared screen in Discord, that'd be great.
I mean, I have the stream open too, but it's just like a little awkward with it being like, it's like 3 seconds behind or so.
Right. So you laugh after everybody.
Yeah.
Which is the funny part. How's that? We good?
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Chat. Hello. Welcome in. Thank you for hanging out. Tonight we are going to be doing a video review, some crown footage, but we're going to have the perspective of the winner of Ansteorran crown, Duke Sven, and we've got some footage pulled up. And then afterwards, we've got one more video that I wanted to kind of last minute hit Sven with and just see what his thoughts are on that particular performance. So we'll get into it. Sven, can you hear us? Hello. Oh, unmuted. Hello.
Oh no, I can hear you.
Right.
My wife was asking me a question.
Perfect. Okay. No worries. I just wanted to make sure your audio was good, that chat can hear you. That's what I was just mixing. All right. Cool. John, of the footage that you sent me, do we want to work like chronologically? First fight and moving on from there?
I think that would make the most sense. The first fight is weird because it's in 2 pieces, but...
Okay. Do you know which
there was an
channel?
armor failure. I think it's on the other channel.
Okay. Their channel, and then which...
If you have to go to videos.
Yeah. You're going to have to help me navigate a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This one?
Sven versus Tyrion Daemon. That's the first.
Okay. So we need part 1 of Daemon.
I think it's one
Over
over
here.
to the... Yeah, that one is the first one.
All right. We'll start here. All right. Sven, can you see my screen all right?
Yeah, I can see it all right. Yep.
Cool. I just want to make sure you've got a good view. Just let me know anytime you want me to pause, frame by frame, fast forward, pull back, whatever it is. I'm going to let you have the floor. As far as talking, may add some questions from my end, just out of curiosity. But so this is the first fight of Crown. Well, actually, before we start, did you feel nervous at all? I mean, you've done this. This is like old hat for you at this point. Do you still get nerves?
Yeah, it's my 4th crown to fight in. I hadn't been actually fighting two-sword in, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. I mainly at practice only fight sword and shield.
Okay.
To be friendly with people, so I only really did one warm-up fight. And when I reviewed the video, I thought I fought poorly, and I could definitely do a lot of improving to be more in practice.
Right.
I always get nervous. I was like, if you're attempting to actually, it's fun to fight for fun, but if you're actually like trying to win something, there's definitely more nervousness in it.
Yeah.
The tunic I'm wearing, I won all 4 crowns in. It's my lucky tunic.
Oh, that's awesome. Is it like how different sports athletes do? They have their kind of like lucky ritual. Is that your main one?
Yeah, that's my main one. I don't wear it except for when I fight in crown.
Okay, that's awesome.
To win.
Yeah, to win. Okay, so we know this is your like get serious tunic. Now I know.
Yeah.
If I see you all of a sudden in that, at Adult Swim, I know you mean business.
Antigone made a match to it. It was pretty cute. I looked at it. So this is Centurion Daemon. I haven't fought him in a while.
Uh-huh.
He also fights a little bit of two-sword, and he's known to be pretty...
All right. He's known to be... what's the last part?
Muted again. Oh.
aggressive.
Oh, aggressive. Gotcha. Cool.
Like he used to have a bit different shield. I guess this is a center grip shield. He had been using a strapped kite shield last time I saw him fight. Last time I fought.
Yeah, it's definitely smaller, and I was not ready. I was like, I don't do any warm-ups when I fight in Crown. I want every piece of energy I brought with me to the day, and so I usually fight cold.
Oh, okay. So not a warm-up.
Yeah. Not a one. I don't do any.
Chat is asking you, do you have any other pre-fight mindset items?
For me, I stretch off to the sidelines. I'm a pretty flexible guy, and so I'll get off the sidelines and stretch my back of my arms, and then I'll do my little breathing when I get out there, relax, and then just walk out there knowing you're the baddest motherfucker walking. You know, just get up and go.
I feel like a lot of people have that, like, it's just business kind of mindset going into it. John talks about it a lot. All right.
He has most certainly heard it from me once or twice.
Yeah, nothing personal. We're just doing business here.
Yeah, it's just a quick exchange where he came in close, and then I hit the strap that holds his faceplate on, and I cut it into.
Oh, okay. You're immediately set up to block. Oh, right there.
Yeah, hit his own shield.
Yeah.
He got very close, and then I stepped in close and just flat snapped him.
Man.
The red swords I'm using are the heavy set. I usually have them different colors and different weights. This is the heavy set. I warm up with the really heavy swords.
They're the long and short, right, that you typically use?
Yeah. I have a 38 in my
38 to
left and a
34?
34.
Yeah. Was that it for part one?
Yeah, I think the rest of the
armor
fights,
failure? Okay, cool.
the other fights are in the other video.
I always use plain rattan. These are just thicker.
You still do you still wrap them in something? I remember it used to be like a polymer type thing.
I used to use rawhide before it became illegal. Because,
okay, gotcha.
When you and all your squires use two sword, you go through rattan like a sawmill, and so now we have a soliflex we put over the last 6-8 inches to kind of make the duration a little longer. And that's a tip weight, which I like a very tip weighted sword.
Right. So you can copy paste it as much as possible.
Yeah. And so here we had sat for a while, probably 15-20 minutes while I got all this stuff done, and so
cold again.
Kind of trying to feel him out to see what he's gonna do, and I believe he just pokes me in the face because I was being lazy.
Yeah.
Oh, this one right here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Right in the face.
Yeah.
Because I just came forward and just didn't try to take any of his hands. I just threw into him and moved my hand out of the way like I had something to do.
Yeah.
I call it like a Kreppen is known for it. He's bigger, so he'll do a wind up, and that right hand comes back before he throws. And tell all the smaller, shorter people you should probably keep the hand in front of your face if you don't want to get it poked in it.
Got it. And so you launched in this third pass.
Yeah, I threw a quick little short jab with my left, like that little quick offside to the top of his head, and then just making sure he doesn't stab through. And then he kind of left his sword over there weirdly, so I just kept throwing.
Did you take your right hand blade to cross parry or cross block his sword offline? Like, is that his weapon?
Yeah.
Going okay.
Yeah, that's his weapon. Yeah, I get some reverse A-frame. So if your left hand crosses in front of your head over, your right hand crosses in front of your body to end up in a reverse A.
Okay, got it. And so that
I've noticed
offside
that you've been throwing that offside left.
People have been cheating their shields over further and further, and so it just gives me free shots at the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a nice shot. I love watching a couple of your videos the other day. And I'm like, that's really good.
Instead of just right hand jabbing, I left hand cross jab, because that also elicits a response from the right hand to meet my body or outside my arm, and I can throw an offside shot and still block my body with my left hand. And so that leaves my left hand free to throw again and my right hand to throw behind, which is what happens. Left into and left right.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, watching you throw, you tap, and then that left hand onside, right hand onside, and then follow up onside with the right.
Yeah, because they are never dead. He was probably dead with the first or second one, but he didn't say dead yet. So
right,
just keep going to
you
work.
Need the call. No, I'm especially in Crown. That is, chat. If you're not used to it, you continue to fight. Assume they are alive until you hear that call. That's clear.
That is for sure. They are never dead.
I think that's the safest way to fight, right? People get beat all the time that I see in footage where they think the opponent is bested and they just drop their guard, but in measure. And they get whacked for it. All right, which is the second one? So Damon was number one.
Macaulay
Number two. All right.
And I think both of these channels have this fight on them actually. But
all right, Macaulay number one here.
Yeah, same thing as going in, just kind of feeling him out. I haven't fought him in a while, so I was just gonna try to push him to see how how he reacted, and he throws the thumb lead, and I'm leaning a little too far forward, being too aggressive. A lot of my fights, since it's best 2 out of 3, I just go in aggressive on the first one, and then fight more patient with the next one.
Okay. So you use this first one as your like data gathering.
Yep. Because I don't lose shot of 3s. I find out what they like to do, what's their tendency, and then I follow up behind it.
So this is a combo I see you open with, because you're very comfortable with this one, that left wrap into the right onside.
Yeah, we call it the old 1-2. You're just throwing that body shot into a flat snap.
No,
Now and typically, if we're killing people with it, we're not actually sword fighting yet. That's like a gear check. You're just, if you can't block that, you're gonna have a hard time with the actual fight.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So your follow-up shot looks like you did essentially the same idea, where you're taking your right blade because you've met his blade. After you're onside, you're already cross-blocking high with your right blade.
Well, we block what's called primary. So if my left hand is going through the zone down and under, and it'll be able to block a leg return. My right hand will block the flat snap, and then it was going to travel. If I hit stuff, I can't flip my sword over into a hang. It'll just travel through basket first. But if I miss or skips off the top, you'll flip the sword over into a hang.
Okay.
And so you still end up in an A-frame.
Got it. So I've talked with you before about some of kind of how you like the meta of the system that you use for yourself, and the folks that you teach. Do you try to use A-frame as home base as much as possible, or is it very contextual?
No, it's kind of like primary, secondary. Like, where would they throw first? That's where one sword needs to be. Where would they throw second? That's where your other sword needs to be. And then you're just watching for things that are not one of those two things, right?
Okay.
So if you're blocking what you consider your highest and second highest probabilities, then you are just looking for anything else. You don't have to pay attention as much.
Got it. Okay.
But I also do, like, I fight their sword, right? So when I line up on people, both my hands face their sword. I don't care about their shield.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. So I see you canted basically directly squared to their basket with the blade.
Yeah, one hand in front of my face and both hands high. I'd measure, right? And the closer you get, the lower your left hand will be to protect your leg, but legs do a lot of that.
Okay, yep.
So you just step out, and
Right.
then just wait for him to move or pull. What I don't like about the day is my hips are too canted, my feet are too long front to back. I mean, it was successful, but I didn't like it as a whole. I should be more square, feet should be shorter.
So like here, you're launching platform. Are you saying like this is longer than you want it to be?
So that's the beginning step, right? So I shouldn't have launched from long feet, right? So watching my feet land, I'll launch from long feet, right? So that I should be more square, launch from that position, or do a stutter and launch, right? You don't want to take a long step then lead. That's just being lazy.
Oh, okay. Right? Because you have a lot more momentum to transfer forward if you have a shorter stance. Is that the idea?
Throw a little frame weight transfer in there, and it's easier just to be sudden, right? And it's just overconfidence.
Right. There's the wrap. I think
he was dead with the first shot, but
okay.
Is Sven said.
I hit him in the head, but I was making sure.
Yeah. Always. And this is the third pass.
It was the left offside again.
They're checking me. I unbuckled my body armor. I just unbuckled it to be more loose, and they're like, something's sticking out. I was like, it's a buckle. It'll be all right.
Oh, you were wearing body armor?
Yeah, I get checked every crown.
The
reason John asks, I fought without body armor for probably 10, 12 years. I didn't wear any body armor, and so they got to where they checked me. So I put it. I had a double hernia surgery a few years ago, and so now I wear body armor.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. It's very reasonable.
Many dukes here do not wear body armor.
So this stance is wider than like just watching you frame up against the sword.
Yeah, front to back is wider.
Yeah, front to
side
back.
to side is
The
fine.
length, yeah.
The sign of being out of practice.
I noticed that you move, like you're willing to kind of shift your torso in and out a little bit. Is that something that is Is that probing for information? Is that something that is just habitually used to it?
It's an illicit response, you know. So if that measure, my hands are pretty high. A lot of people will throw leg or outside, and ideally, the goal is a good two-sorter is to get them to throw outside my hands, right?
Okay.
Keep them away from my face. Because I block that thrust lead, and then I just want them to throw outside. And so many people will throw offside cross or leg cut, feeling like they're close enough, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So watch that one again in slow motion, and I did the exact same thing. I transition to that single, and then I do a hanging guard to block his wrap, and then return, right? So a lot of it was getting the timing off the first one.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let me see here.
So everybody's got tendencies and things they like. The goal is to just read them early.
All right. So watching this.
So he's looking a little too much over the back edge. So when I'm stuttering, he's pulling the shield across a little bit. And I was like,
right there.
So I jab at his face, but you see his shield goes across, right?
Yep.
His initial response was to twist, and so I used a right hand jab, and I'll follow it up in a little bit. I'll left hand jab instead, just to see where his shield's going, because he's not reading, he's guessing. And so I was like, okay, full information.
Okay.
And then just throw that quick left side.
So that's the throwing outside that middle line, like forcing your opponent to throw somewhere outside of your
Yeah, and then he returns with his thumb lead. I return to a hang, and then I throw thumb leads.
Man, you get some value out of that. Because you're
I get a shit ton of it.
Yeah, your motion is very, very fluid, right? Because it's like block. I remember you told me you bring your head through your arm, right? That's your cue to yourself to drop.
So the difference between blocking a flat snap is your hand is on your forehead. And blocking a thumb lead, your hand just it's not your hand moves, your head moves. So you'll notice that I look down.
Oh, okay. That's the motion, as opposed to bringing the arm like further back into a more compromised.
Your hand doesn't move in space. You move around your hand, right?
Okay.
So if my hand is comfortable, I just look down.
Okay, got it. Okay, that's dope.
Because anything that moves your hand or your arm specifically is hard to recover from, right? Like you can put motion in your hand. So why move your hand when your head can move and then you can throw?
Right, yeah, and just feel it click
Makes
and
sense.
Return.
And I have a weird way of throwing, as John can explain to you. I throw a very, very quick wrap from there.
Yeah. And your triggers make it that easier, right? The mechanic you use, because you
Way easier. Yeah, hands open, sling it in there like I'm going somewhere.
Who is the next fight?
I think it's Jason.
Jason?
Fought Duke Jason.
Right.
Yeah, they called us out for the second round before they realized they didn't have all the cards, and we're both pumped up, ready to fight each other in the second round. Because the odds are whoever wins that match is probably going to win today. So everybody gathers around, and then we have to go sit down, get new opponents, and then fight each other in this round.
Yeah, okay. I remember that. I remember they pulled the cards, and the audience was kind of confused.
Yeah, they had two cards that didn't get returned, strangely enough. So I was lucky enough to recognize Jason as a knight in my first reign. He was I had 4 reigns. I've only made 2 knights. Duke Jason and Jarl Floki. Both royals, right? I have a pretty good idea of what I expect from prowess.
Yeah.
And so he's a longtime friend of mine. He comes to all my practices and everything. So we fought each other. Outside of my local household and my knight, he's probably fought me the most of anyone in our kingdom.
Okay.
By far.
Yeah.
So you were both very, like, comfort-wise, you're both very comfortable with each other's game at this point.
Yeah, Jason won't engage me to sword fight. He just tries to stab me in the face and then stay at range.
Hey, you know what? That seems like what I would try to do.
Especially with this small shield.
Does Jason normally use a larger shield?
Jason uses any shield, like he switches his shield up every 6 months to a year.
Oh, okay.
And they have steadily gotten smaller over the years.
Oh, that seems to be a progression, right? As you get.
Yeah.
This is the shield of many corners. So that was just a jab at his forearm to see what he was wanting to do. Was he leaving?
Okay.
Was he coming? You know, what was his stance and approach?
Got it. Interesting.
There
He's
was that
thrusting
thrust.
low.
There was that thruster lead, so he thrust and left. Right, it's very common. He does it a ton to me.
That's the like the boxer's punching chance, right? That's that idea.
Well, he wants to throw for me to move my hand into lane and then throw at my leg as I take too much of a step on the front foot. So I just generally just
Oh.
push, lead, push, lead, push, lead until I feel comfortable transitioning. And you'll see it. I do it a few times.
Is he looking to do that, like the thrust where you then drop the tip to kind of go onside on the leg?
He really is not throwing at my legs a lot as a lead. He's usually trying to hit me in the arm or the face.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, that would come off the bottom of my basket as I came in.
Ooh, that's some action right there. All right. So you initiate with the offside tap.
Yeah, he ducked under just enough. The shield was out of position. I just missed. I hit the top of his helmet, and I was like, God damn
Yeah,
it.
Really good timing on his part with the leg.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I was going to jump, but he legged me, and so that's why I try to hold the jump back as much as I can, realizing I've been legged. You know,
Right.
I don't put all the power in it that I had, so I'm trying to kill
Yeah,
my
'cause you
jump.
posted this leg. Got it.
Yeah.
I come up, but not much, because I realized as I was going forward, oh, I got legs, jump, and then fall into it.
Okay.
And then left the body, right, from you?
Yeah,
Right
he
here.
he was leaned over trying to protect his head with that shield. I just flat snapped him in the body.
He didn't get out in time.
Okay. Hey, we can't
was
see
in
the
a
flat
hurry.
snap in that particular camera angle. This is Jason's. Is there another one from a different angle? This
I
person?
think
So
that I think it's on this channel. Go up. Maybe it's not.
Oh, this one.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Cool. This is still pass one, right?
Yeah, it was the first pass.
Oh, this is a better angle to see the action when an explosion happens. All right, so we saw the, because you took the legs, you're trying to gut your own height on this one, right? Because you felt
yeah,
that leg. So you're going
yeah,
down.
I felt it and then I was just coming down and then chasing just to
Oh,
throw
right
it hard.
here. Yeah. Okay. So now we can see your stick on this angle. Nice. It just cuts under
Oh
the
yeah,
basket. I was barely there. Nice. Woo.
that was a nice shot.
That's a nice shot. Yeah. That's a spooky committed forward shot. All right. So it's this one.
Going forward is not gonna, or going backwards is not gonna win you any. So you might as well go forward and ride or die.
That is the fun of combat, right? Getting up.
And so now I've got to win up on him, right? You know, so he's going to be a little more aggressive, in which I know I just have to draw it out of him, and I can win that exchange.
Gotcha. Because by being down a point, he has the pressure of having to make something happen.
Yeah, so I do a little more pressing and trying to draw his returns.
So here, what do you think he's going to throw, and where are you setting up for his 1-2, like the block?
Is disengaging his back leg. He's trying to stutter at my face and stab,
Okay.
and then throw leg. Right, he's going to try to transition and leg me.
Okay.
But he's all off face thrusts. Right.
Okay.
He will not throw
it.
offside. He will not throw deep. It will be to my face, to my arm, or to my leg.
Okay. So he's not going to like explode and try to get that high wrap or anything.
No, I mean if he shows it, he's lying.
Got it. Yep. It looked like a very similar exchange.
I'd expect the duck again, like when he went down, like his ducking is what saved him because I hit the cross everything and missed. He went straight over top of his head and then into his shield and trying to get space. And then as he's trying to leave because he's going backwards, he comes off the bottom of my sword into my leg. And I was like,
Okay.
nope.
Gotcha. Yep.
He's like, I agree. He's like, I threw terrible. Because I tried to go over, now I've got no power.
Yep.
I was like, son of a bitch.
Okay. Because that last wrap had all of your momentum. You were got.
Yeah, the thumb lead over is what I wanted because I thought he was going to A-frame down again, and he did not, and I should have went left. But he changes up how he fights me. So normally I would throw left lead, but I got tired of hitting his sword the last billion times we fought. So I was like, the thumb lead will be the answer today, and I went to it a lot.
Got it.
So
Got it.
he gets aggressive there and comes forward. He stutters, and then so you'll see he throws a stutter, and it looks like he wants to throw face, and then he tries to thumb lead me, and I just follow it with my hand and then throw behind.
Okay. Sutter step right there. He's deep. That's like a pretty
Yeah,
deep committed attack.
yeah, and all I do is just chase it with my hand and then throw the hang.
Okay. Yeah.
This is a cool block.
Yeah. You're just right there, ready for it. I see your like head going forward, arm going, but over. So now you have all of that power coming through.
I think he might already be dead with the left.
Oh, gotcha. With the
The
body
left
shot.
to body.
He was dead. I just was unsure if it was leg or not because I couldn't see because I
Yeah.
had the oculars on, and so I was just clearing out, right? So then say I go right into that hang again, arm down.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was hanging guard left. Thumb lead, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Classic from you, though.
Don't change a good thing.
Hey, yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's how that works. All right. Who's the next?
I think
Jarl
if
Owen.
you that
Ulstead.
yeah, Ulstead, and so it'll be Owen first in this video right here, this top first one.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, it's a round robin, so Ulstead and Owen fight first, and then Sven's the
Oh,
second
that's
fight in
right.
this. So I don't remember halfway through or so.
Last time I watched this was live, and so I actually didn't see too much of the detail. I
Because
don't
it was
know.
all grainy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ulstead got caught shopping in range and got hit in the elbow cop for it. He was a little too close, picked his hand up shopping, and got offsided in the elbow cop.
So this is
And then did decently single sword.
all right. So this is your fight here.
Ulstead is who I killed in the finals of the Warlord the day they announced me for knighthood. So I've been fighting Ulstead for a very long time. He's
Okay.
actually he's the crown that gave me my AOA
Oh, that's awesome.
13, 14 years ago, whenever it was.
Yeah, someone was saying that Ulstead is a duke, but hasn't sat in a decade or some such.
Not since I did. He sat a couple 3 reigns before me. So my first reign was 10 years ago to, here pretty soon.
No.
I think
10
it was
years,
like
10 years, 3
20
months ago for me. So he
I think
should be
2011, I think was his last reign. 2010, 2011.
somewhere in there. And so with Ulstead, I'm just in there. So the first pass, I do the 1-2 on him. If you wanted to show that, essentially
Oh,
as I
yeah.
come into measure, I want to see if he's going to leave or not. And so I throw a quick 1-2 to see what he's planning. See if he's changed up anything. What's his approach? Is he going to disengage? Is he throwing slot immediate? What's his game?
Yeah.
And so he's
Immediate
immediately
1-2.
voiding. Right, he's leaving his equipment behind and stepping away. I was like, okay, I'm not going to chase. So if people void, I won't chase. I'll just peck away and push. Right, because your shield's heavier than my swords.
Right, very true.
So that you see, I do right-handed right there. That's just I do a jab to see what people are blocking with, because a lot of people you'll see them move their shield too much, and then you can throw behind it.
Oh, okay.
Just that little quick right. It's just a face check. I want to see if you're moving your helmet, you're moving your shield, you're moving your sword. What are you doing?
And immediately after, you do that same motion of that right hand check into your launch. Looks of it.
Yep. And just throw that long left to see what I can get. Is he voiding? And then immediately just hard straight through flats now.
Ooh, that.
And he got a bunch of shield on it and I got out of measure. If he'd stayed, I'd been very happy. But I hit the corner of his shield. I was like, nice block.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I was like, you can see.
Yeah, I think
it's just in front. Looks of it.
Yeah. No, he got shield on it. He was behind his shield quite a bit too. That shield's probably 6-8 inches in front of him.
Okay.
And so after that, I immediately stopped chasing him. I was just like a little pressure. I was like, is he going to come? Because some people want to come forward. And so I want to see.
Right. They
So
want to
then I
attack
just-
into your attack.
Yeah. And so then I just jabs and throw singles. When's he going to slot? Because that's what he wants. He wants a high-handed slot. And so I'll bring my right hand down and trying to initiate him throwing at my face. My knight was very good at hitting people in the face. And so I think I excel in not getting slot shotted in the mouth.
Got it.
So
Got it.
I will taunt people with it.
So you look comfortable there. He charges in.
Oh, the grind. I in Ansteorran fighting these war doors. I'm telling you, if people want to come in and wrestle me, ask John how he feels about that. Fighting me
That's
in close, because
miserable.
I will hang on you like a fat car door.
Yeah.
Were you? Is
'Cause
that
I
like
just
when you
step,
put your?
I step into your shield arm and then I just stay there, right? And so I just put my right basket on top of your shield and I just crouch, and
Hang
then you have to
on.
carry my weight. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna try to do
Okay.
it to Ulstead because he's got a smaller shield and he's bigger than I am physically, so it doesn't do me any good. But anybody that's smaller than about 250, 6 foot, I
Yeah.
will hang on you like a bad trash bag.
Okay.
And when John was down last time, it's all I did. I was like, I see you being very aggressive. I'm gonna see if I can remove some of that from you.
That's been the main. No, excuse me. The main thing I'm working on right now.
Yeah, I was like, you're too worried about killing your opponent and not saving energy and not thinking about fights from 5 minutes from now.
Yeah. Well, if you
And
kill
so
it fast, you save a lot of energy.
here's my main thing. It's like how my hips are facing so far to my right. I should be more square with his sword, but I'm not worried
Okay.
about getting rushed, and so it doesn't really show up. But it's a bad tendency of me when I'm lazy or out of practice.
Right. Right.
So,
And the sharpest timing is the first to go. Right.
oh, it
For
is
fighting
absolutely. Yeah, this year marks 30 years of fighting for me. Yeah,
across multiple disciplines or
started
skill.
Amp Guard oh so long ago in 1997. I guess it was. No, sorry, 94. 94 started. I was 17.
Ooh.
I was a 1-year-old. 90s.
Yeah, see how close? See, I just hit the bottom, like the very corner of that shield, and he's stepping out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That's what it looks like. Like
Yep, no, got
just clips
ton
right
of
here and bounces off.
yeah, ton of shield and very little helmet, stepping
Yeah.
back. But you notice he is leaving every time, right? Like he's going away from it, and so that's really saving his head, because if he's hesitant or not stepping early enough, I can hit him with it. But I'm not chasing,
Right.
just
Right.
like.
Right. That gives him opportunity.
And so I threw the 1-2 and I followed it with a right because he wasn't sliding behind it. So I threw at his leg to see what he was blocking and what he wasn't. Just to pressure, see if I can move his shield. But he's fought me done. And it's just a matter of being comfortable and patient, right? Just
Yep.
let him throw a slot, let him carry that shield around, and just wait. And so if you'll replay that one again, he
Yeah.
got too close to me. I threw the body wrap, but he stepped into it, and so I hit him with like my basket. It was like way too close.
Got it. Okay. I
So
was
when,
wondering
when
like.
he comes in, and so I wait a little bit to throw. I block, and then I throw behind. When he comes into me, the throw comes late, and it's a lot of shield and a bunch of nothing. Right? I was like, nope. Yeah, he blocked it. And maybe it's the next one where I hit it. I touch his body. One of them, he stepped into me, and I threw a body wrap. And I hugged him, gave him a very nice, very ginger hug.
Yeah. That. Okay. So let's see the setup. So this is off of his stepping
Yeah,
into your initial movement,
yeah,
right? That's the.
yeah. So I was trying to sell him to see if I could right hand him, right? And I was like, I
Yep.
think I can right hand him. And he stepped a little closer than I wanted to, so my sword turned over a little late. I was not the greatest with it,
You're
but
also stepping
so
like as he's landing, right? You're timing your step
yeah,
well.
I'm trying to step into his sword side, right? I want him to think I'm going back to the bucket, right? And then I'm gonna throw right behind it. So I've already decided what I'm throwing, right?
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
I show that same setup, but I don't throw the left. I just right hand.
Okay.
But he steps too close to me, right? So he's so
Yeah.
close. So watch where my basket is. Like it's just super
Yeah.
short on there. I
Yep.
hit his shield with my forearm, right? So the I don't think the sword was the greatest because I literally middle of forearm to the edge of his shield. I was like,
Got
ah.
it. Right. Right.
And so it took all the smoke off my shot. I was
Yeah.
like, God damn it. And so I keep my sword straight up. I'm blocking to see what he's going to do,
Yep.
and then throw by it. And there's why I also hugged him with the left as I was leaving. I was like, because he stepped his tip to me, no good. I was like, good step in. That's what I say in videos. Nice step in. And so what happened there is, so I elicited his slot response. Well, you probably got it a few minutes ago. So I threw into it. He slots behind. I
Yep.
step and catch. Right.
And that's what
And
you
then
wanted all along was that high
as
slot.
soon as he slots first, right, I follow behind, hard back blade, right,
Yep.
and then here comes the fat sapper, the thumb lead.
Yeah. Okay. There it is. Nice. So left to right, wrap into
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
big wrap, the thumb lead wrap.
Because a lot of people don't realize when I have my swords crossed, a lot of people are like, "Oh, two swords should have their swords crossed." You know, you'll get hit in the body, and it's just an illicit response. I'll block with my front sword, and it leaves my left hand free to throw back a front blade immediately
Right.
as a response. Right.
Was there more in that video? Oh no, that was it. Was
That's it. And then I fight Owen.
Yeah, one to
Okay.
your Owen.
Are
Yeah, because
these
he lost Owen, then he lost to me.
Are
I
these?
haven't fought Owen probably since I was an unbelt. Probably 10, 12 years ago since I fought him last.
Do we know which one is the?
It's the middle one.
Is this one? Okay.
That one, yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Dope.
The one that says finals on it.
Thank you, Master John Drake. Oh, okay. Pause, champ. Question. They called you Centurion John the whole time, and I didn't know if it was because they did the rank order based on your armored awards only, or is it all martial awards?
When I signed up with the MOL, right, the list coordinator, they asked what title I wanted, and
That's what he
so
signed
I
up
chose.
with.
Yeah, so I chose to use my highest heavy fighting title rather than
okay.
my highest title period because I felt like it's so like in Ansteorran people will either use highest overall or highest for the discipline they're doing.
I would also watch the other video because the other video is much closer than this one.
Oh, okay, great, thank you.
The other angle.
From
this
the one
one.
that Rourke posted. Yeah, so that's what I did. That's what I did, really. I just didn't want. I wanted to use the highest title I have for this type of fighting.
Were you seeded, based on your mod or based on your?
They did overall. For the challenge portion of the tournament, they did overall.
I was surprised you had the challenge. You've been a peer for a relatively long time.
Yeah, I was there weren't a lot of knights who weren't royal family in the tournament. There was actually just one.
Oh, okay, got it.
So I was the lowest peer, the lowest ranked peer in the tournament.
Oh, why?
That was the first time I had been challenged in the first round in 6 crown tournaments. I went unchallenged. That was the first time I've been challenged in forever. I usually get the bye, or I'm forced to fight the fold.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but I was like, thank you for challenging me. I was like, no one challenged me first. I appreciate it.
Give you that first warm up, right?
I appreciate it too. And so with Owen, you'll see a little of the same. I'm just going to kind of walk him around, see where he's feeling physical, see if his arm is hittable, see if I can get him to turn his feet, see what he's physically doing for the day. Because I haven't fought him in, like I said, probably 10 years.
Okay. Yep. So I guess one immediate question is, so the sight picture is different, right? Alstead has that high hand looking for that slot shot, slightly different shaped shield, versus the very horizontal defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
In your head, what changes in your attack pattern, or do you still do your 1-2 as the opener, regardless?
So for this, I check their arm. I try to get them to tuck their elbow a little bit or bring their shield out, right? Because I want them to know their arm is hittable.
Okay.
And then I want to see, because Owen has a setup like he'll thrust lead from a lot of times.
Yeah,
so I just don't want to be thrust at. So I just keep my hand there as a whole.
Okay.
But I will generally always throw the 1-2 as a test because no matter what I do, I end up in a reverse A-frame. I just got to throw it. I usually try to throw it with some smite on it, some good heat.
Yeah.
Because what I'm worried about is stepping in to throw the body against a big guy. If they step in closer to you, they can hit me and pull me off. It'll hit me and knock my frame back, and so my wrap will be terrible. And so I don't want to get too close to Owen because he's known for bodying you and interrupting your shots.
Okay.
And so I'm just like, arm time, be safe.
Got it.
Make him tired. In crown finals, I generally just carry your shield for 5 minutes. I think I'm in better shape than most people, so I'm okay with long fights.
Yeah. You're down to win the war of attrition.
Yeah. And so when people push, I just give them ground, let them walk.
Yeah.
And so when he backs away, you see I take 3 steps, and I stop, right? And then when he goes forward, I want to immediately put pressure on him again, pick your shield up.
Got it. We were talking about that a bit with John, not forcing other people to keep their stuff high.
Yeah, so I immediately threw at the arm, no response, right? So I'm trying to see what in his mind, what's he going for? Is he going to thrust at me? What's he going to do, right? Presenting him different targets. Just trying to test his edge of measure, what he feels comfortable with. And so to me, it gives me the effect, I think he just wants to get close to bang. He wants to try to physically put his shield on me, and so there it was there. And so what happened there is I threw my left was terrible because that's what happened. I hit. We made contact like I said I was going to. The left was no good, and I threw a thumb lead that really didn't go much of anywhere.
Okay.
Because I got bumped.
So
and
this is
then
what you're talking about right here. When he bodies in
Yep.
with the shield, it
yep,
cuts the power.
It knocks my frame back, right? And I'm very
Yeah.
much a frame weight transfer. I use my body to throw my swords as hard as I can, right? And so he legs me, right?
Yep.
And so immediately I was like, God. And so I try to throw I think a thumb lead as I'm going down
Yep.
with my other foot.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yep.
And I hit the edge of his shield with my forearm. Same thing.
Yep. Same
Right.
problem. Yeah. And he tries to thumb wrap you, thumb lead
Yeah.
wrap.
Yeah. He throws back. He hits very, very, very high on my helmet, right? Coming
Yeah.
across
Yeah.
the
Because you
top
were going
there.
down.
Yeah. And so he misses the top of me there, not much. And then as I'm going down, I try to throw a thumb lead and manage just to hit him in the knee.
Oh no. Yeah. Just because of the height.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That was
I
a
roll
good
through.
angle. It looks like you beat the corner, right? Like the angle of your
I
sword to
did.
your
I
arm.
just like too low. I was like, eh. And that's what he says when he backs away. I was like, no on the head.
Yeah. Yep.
I was like, what? I was like, well, struck on the leg. And I was like, well, this is not where I wanted to be.
Yeah. Okay. So
And
so question. So you're very like similar to John and I. Measure is such a like that's the one of the higher parts of your game, right? Like one of the spots that you really lean on for your strength. What is your plan when that is taken away from you? Like, what is your go-to?
I just throw at people's arms and people's heads, like very short, direct, to try to make them throw around. I want them to throw wraps because if they'll throw wraps, I can throw behind them, right? I don't need measure. If you're close enough to hit me, I can hit you.
Oh, I see. Okay. So basically the same plan. Like you're just trying to elicit the throw outside of your center line. You're going to catch in
Yep.
return.
Yeah, and he makes a mistake. He steps over me, like he steps too close to me, and I would have definitely stayed this distance or further to fight me.
Oh, does it just give you way too much access to the back?
Yeah, because I can throw with both hands, right?
Yeah,
From here,
yeah.
I only have I can't hit you with either hand, right? So I'm just going to stand here and be comfortable,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
I'm like
okay.
I'm not reaching.
Yeah.
So I throw my
okay.
little 1-2, and I immediately just go into my hang, right?
Yep.
And then
Yep.
he pulls his hand back, so I got that nice little wrap, right? Protect my body with both the hands. And then he steps back. He pulls his hand back, and now I'm inside his shield, which I was like,
Yeah,
to me that's a mistake, right?
Yep.
And as he clears, he makes clear because he's trying to wrap me. Core to core, I feel pretty safe with both my swords.
Yep. Okay.
And then he steps to make distance. As soon as he makes distance, I flick it at his face and
Yep.
chop him right in the face.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Right there. Right there. Yep. 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 Okay. Did you hit him with that first? Was that first shot a cut in?
Yeah, cut him right in the throat. First
Oh,
cut
yeah,
to the face,
Right.
and then head.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the follow up the head. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't stop because it just from the ground nothing feels good, right? Because you don't have your weight transfer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
I made contact, but I don't know if it's callable. So
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to
Keep
throw
throwing.
till one of us dies.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
That was cool. A cool shot.
I was shocked that it landed.
It landed. Yeah, me too. I remember watching this live and being like, "Wow, Sven got him from the ground. Wow."
That's what I said. I'm like, well, I got lucky there. Yeah. But I don't ever mind losing the first fight because it's a good information grab. You know, for me, I think people worry about winning them all. You know, information gain is just as good as anything else.
Right. Right.
And everybody uses stamina up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Snap.
The burn.
It's a nice sniping at my arm, trying to hit my leg, you know, and then I just immediately go to that 1-2, right?
Yeah.
Good body wrap, back to the thumb lead. So back up, yeah, there you go. So it's just a 1-2, right? Get in close, pick my hand back up to block the sword off me, and then throw the hard thumb lead.
Okay. Yeah. We'll frame this. It's a right
So I
hand.
tap at his sword. So see that right hand tap? I tap at his sword
Oh.
to see if he's going to block it, right? And he doesn't, so I leave it there and immediately just throw left. And so his sword pommel's forced to come down, right? He's going to engage it. He's got to try to block, or he's got to move his shield, right? Both of which just frees my right hand up to throw that thumb lead that I wanted, right?
Okay. Yep.
Because he kind of turned and brought his sword over and his shield over, and now I can see over the shield, and then here comes that right-handed thumb.
And so you're looking over from your perspective to the left of the shield, but his shield right side, like your angle
Correct.
from the left. Okay.
Yeah, I generally always face my body and my frame to their sword shoulder. That's what killed me.
Right.
So I want to face the threat. So then it was.
So there's
a
all your
little hard
weight.
thumb
Kind
lead.
of,
It's like the kung fu move right
yeah,
here.
I know it does. It looks like a kung fu movie right here. That's part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Throw it up in there, and then I land and bring my sword back online.
Okay. And there's your
It was a good block with your left
good
too.
follow block.
Yep.
And then you bring the other one online. Okay.
Yep, and then right back to it. I'm going forward, right? So I'm stepping into him because I'm not sure.
Right.
And then as he clears, I hit with him. Yeah, because if he's coming to you, don't let him get away. Step in and smother, right? And then because he who is alive wins, right? I think too many people are worried about killing. When people get core to core, I think they swing too much. Like you only want to swing when it's a good time to swing.
Okay, I see.
Even as a two sworder.
Yeah. So you're not going to make like kind of force an opening. You're like, okay, this is.
A great example was you guys is Mr. Ragnar Ripcracker. Like
Yeah.
he gets close and he swings a bunch, right? The problem is swinging a bunch gets you hit, and so I only swing when I think your sword is engaged with one of my swords, or I feel like you've already thrown and you're returning somewhere, and then I can throw.
Right.
And that's when I'll throw 1-2s or the singles. In this specific video, I use the thumb lead a ton because so many people here have they've picked their shields up artificially high.
Okay.
And
Yep. I noticed that.
And the shields are so big, right?
Yeah.
And so I can't front a lot of stuff, and so I just throw thumb lead at them, right?
Yep.
Because it's a safe return. If I miss, it returns to my hang, and if it hits, I'll just return into a vertical basket over.
That makes sense. Man, that's huge confidence in your defensive capacity, right? Like
It's the timing. It's not a defensive thing. It's timing, right? So if you've thrown and your hand's going backwards, I have time to throw, right, and return. So because I used your contact on my sword to know I can throw, right? So I have time with both hands to throw. I can throw 2, and then I just need to block primary, right? And I just need to look to where I think your hand's going to go. And as it comes back, that right hand is coming with that hang or going over, depends on how it hits. And that left hand is either going down to a hang or bouncing out, depends on how it hits. Both hands return based on how they get struck in the air, you know. And you just return back, and then I wait, and then I can throw again.
Chill,
you know?
yeah. The waiting part is what I mean defensively. Like you have to have a high level of comfort in your defense to be willing to wait, right? Like just
SCA swords are so much slower than Amp Guard swords. I think so. People like reading is what we would call it, right? The ability to see strikes as they're swinging at you and blocking all that stuff is reading, right? And so in Amp Guard, the reading skills in order to be successful at playing Amp Guard is considerably higher. Measure is more important. The speed is super important. And so we do a lot of training with the faster moving buffers so that it's easier to see the moves in SCA, right? It's like the difference between a saber, how fast a saber moves, and a traditional sword, right? It's super fast. But if you fight saber a lot, it's not bad, right? Because it becomes something you accustom yourself to. So SCA sword's the fastest thing you see. Will always appear fast. But if you practice with faster stuff, it makes it easier for your mind to practice slower things.
That's pretty legit. So play at buffer speed in order to slow down your ability to read.
We do a couple drills called Block Strike. Brian Ellis videoed it a few years ago and do different things. And I find that if you can be successful moving and blocking that you will have way less trouble with the SCA swords. Because timing is everything, right? Even in Amp Guard, I did a lot of waiting. You know, it'd be like 1-2, wait, 1-2. But the 1-2s are very much in that second and a half. There may be 4 strikes. Now I'll throw a quick 1-2, you'll block. I'll throw another 1-2. The timing is accelerated, but it's essentially the same pacing. I throw, I'm waiting. I throw. You determine where I throw next based on how you threw. And if anything, I moved terribly all day. Feet were too long, but and it was enough to get it done.
Hey man, I get that. The feeling of like, man, I could have done so much better in this motion, or man, what was I doing with my hand?
I see your little chat though. It's like move your shield with your left strike. A lot of that is tendencies and habits, right? Like, is he turning? Like a lot of people will twist their body, right? Like they're anticipating the throw and they're not reading. They're guessing and they'll twist. Or some will reach. They'll bring their shield across their body, but they have a habit and tendency for it. So you can draw it with a stutter, or you can draw it with the beginning of the throw. And a lot of times, if their shield is high, they can't see your right hand to begin with anyway. And so that's what determines whether I throw a thumb lead or a flat snap, right?
Okay. Yep.
Because he's not sword blocking. There is no hang up top, right? He's not cross blocking with his sword. It is shield all the time. So all I need to do is for his shield to move out of that zone. I know I can hit it.
Right. Okay. That's dope. Chat, if you have any questions for Sven, now is the time. Go ahead and ask away if you got anything. I want to pull up the next video.
So was your feet too long the biggest? Like that was the thing you would have liked to have done better the most, do you think?
I think squaring my hips first, and that would have fixed the long feet, right?
Okay.
Because my hips were facing to the right too much. I think if I'd have squared my hips, my feet would have shortened naturally.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Look at these y'all got some little buffers here?
I have never. Okay, so here's the backstory. This past weekend, I was at a MagFest. Was the name of the con. It is roughly 25K here in DC, and it's Music and Gaming Festival. For those who don't know, and Dagger here did a demo that we attended. I've never fought Boffer before. I went over to fight and to try it out. They were doing a demo. I did it for a couple hours. And Alex and I went, and it felt like we felt very, very good in the melee, right? Like just kind of we understand all
Dag
tactics.
has a weight minimum. Dag has a weight minimum on their one-handed weapons.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I believe theirs are 14 ounces, I believe, or 16. I can't remember what the weight minimum is. There's a minimum for, like Amp-Guard has. They can be weighed nothing, like a 4-ounce sword.
Okay.
I can't remember what the weight minimums are for Dag. Dag and Bell are much the same. Looks like he's using a flat blade and you're using a bat.
Yeah, I'm using I have an edge on that one. And yeah, he's using a more circular thing.
Yeah.
It felt very good. I felt very like I got to grab a sword board combo. I was like, oh, I get to hit people and they can't hit my face. This is crazy. I can just like block the rest of me and play measure games. With how light everything was, I was like, oh, I feel so free relatively, compared to like SCA armor, which it really does. It weighs you down a bit, movement wise.
So Scabius is talking about how to move on the balls of your feet versus your heel stepping. Mm-hmm. So generally, when you're heel stepping, it's because you're stepping too long, right? So as a two-snorter, I generally try to stay on my whole foot on the ball of my foot. So when you are stepping long, if it feels uncomfortable to stay on your whole foot and you're forcing to hit the heel of your foot, the step was probably too long. You probably didn't take your weight with you, right? So if you took your weight with you, you can land on the whole of your foot, right? And so heel stepping is generally bad because it means your feet are long, your weight is on your heel, and you have to roll through your stance.
Okay.
If you would have shortened it a little bit to make it more, and slightly widened your feet, you can stand on the whole of your foot, and it makes it easier to hit and leave, right? Because that heel is preventing your leave or your follow because you're forced to roll your body weight through your whole foot versus landing on your whole foot. So generally, hips are probably too narrow, step is probably too long, or you're reaching with your back, same deal. You let your back get too far forward, your feet can't catch you. So think more about moving with your belt buckle and staying on the ball of your foot. So think about when you lunge, where that transition is from heel to foot. And so think about how long that step is. So it's a foot to 2 feet, depending on how tall people are, how quick they are, and just try to think about shortening your step a little more.
Okay. Is the
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask when you land fully flat on your foot. Is that not as good as like landing more ball of your foot to be able to continue forward? Because it sounds like you want to ideally land on the ball of your foot to kind of drive forward more.
So it depends, right? So if you're landing on the ball of your foot and you're moving in heavy armor, right? How hard is it for you to change directions to refuse measure, right? Right? Because now you're going to roll through your whole foot and you're going to stretch that mass on just your ball of your foot pushing. Mm-hmm. If you're heavier, it's easier to use your whole foot, right? So if you land on the whole foot, it'll let you go backwards or suddenly change direction a lot easier. Ball of your foot is ideal, but if you put a lot of lunge and you're going forward, you're going to want to land on the whole foot. You don't want to land on just the ball because you're not going to be able to stop.
Got it. So you can't actually like change direction if you're committing too hard onto just the ball.
You can't put that brake on, right? Like you can't just suddenly be like, you know. And so when I put hard lunges, I usually try to stand on the whole of the foot,
just in case you need to pivot side or back out.
Yeah. When I was lighter and a little quicker, it wasn't as an issue. But as I get heavier and around 250, I need more of the foot to move my fat ass around.
Okay. Yeah, Chad, if you got any other questions, please hit us. Yeah, so this was Magfest tried out Dag. The only noteworthy difference I could tell are that you cannot hit neck or head, and that it's like rapier or cut and thrust. Like you can't hit feet, ankles, shins, and knees. And then when you are fighting, if you lose a leg, you can be posted. So they like a basketball player where you can only pivot off of the one leg after you lose it. If you lose 2 limbs, you are considered dead. So those are like the big rule changes that I noticed. You might have better insight coming from the foam world. This is just my overview.
So posting is for people who have knee or you're playing on hard surfaces. Typically, they allow posting, but usually the leg is just like SCA. When you get legged, you go down to your knees.
Okay.
The difference is 2 limbs kills you, 2 legs or whatever it is. And in Dag and Bell specifically, if you were legged and your knee was down, if your knee comes up off the ground, your dead leg can be struck again and kill you.
Oh, okay. Got it. As opposed to the skating culture where it's like dead leg is dead, no longer.
Yeah, no. So long as your knee is on the ground, that is always the case. But in Dagger here specifically, if your knee comes up off the ground, your dead leg can be struck again because you're using it, right?
Yeah. Okay. That makes
But
sense.
2 limbs is a death.
And 2 limbs. Okay, got it.
So you'll see a lot of double leg, and that if you're using shield double leg or arm leg, and you're dead.
So I found what I thought was by far the best fighter on the field that day, and grabbed passes. This guy's I think a boxer by sport, and does some foam for funsies. But we do a couple of sets, and I learn a lot as I play. So this is the end of the day. I'm in a con outfit, not really a fighting outfit, but it was fun to kind of figure out how this works. In this first video, I learned that he's looking to counterpunch almost entirely, and so my forearm is very vulnerable. If I commit a little too hard to the leg, I lose.
As a whole in foam, your stances have to be shorter because it's so easy to get hit in the legs because the weapons are quick.
Okay.
But even then, people just arm you and then leg you, right? Because if I hit you in the arm, you're trying to change hands. I hit you in the leg and you're dead.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of times your feet have to stay with you, or you'll just lose them after you get armed.
I'm so used to being a fencer that all those habits are just there. I've got to shorten it up for.
I knew Sven was going to say your stance was too long.
Oh yeah. But John's had this experience. I fought him and his brother with some foam swords a few times to show him the difference between the two. Yeah, you definitely can double tap the arm in an amp card. Same thing in Dag and Bell. You can just hit the arm twice quickly.
Oh yeah. So this is the beginning of the set. There's another video, and he just basically told me, yeah, you can thrust. I was like, oh, that's great. I like fencing. Because the way they played it earlier was like you couldn't.
So in Dag, the weapons are colored, right? So it would be a blue weapon is slash only, a one-handed. Blue-green would be stab and slash. Green would be stab only, and red would be a two-handed Glaber sword.
Okay.
So a lot of them have color codes on the handles and different things. I don't see anything on these, so there's no telling what they're doing with them. But typically, if they're not marked with green, they're blue, which would be slashing only.
Okay, got it. I know there were some markings, but I just didn't know what they meant. I think exactly to your point, because my stance was longer, I tried to basically cover my leg with the blade, which is why you see my blade as low as it is.
Just step out. Like you're so far away, just step out. Like he's doing it poorly, but just move yourself away. The long linear stance makes you easy to hit in the arms.
Yeah, that's
once you start learning how to arm time people, that's all I ever did was hit people in the forearms over and over and over again. I have some buffers that I think I have 6 or 8 left that I train with. They're amp card style set up like this, and then I have I think 8 with baskets that are heavier.
Oh, okay. That you use.
So I use a set.
You should bring some and show Boomy what it's like.
Yeah, if you have him on golf, I'll fight you.
Or even amp. Well, I guess you probably don't want to bring him all the way to Adult Swim.
I don't know. Yeah, I assume you don't want to fly with him.
I'll let him fight Rags, some single sword.
Yeah.
Let you fight somebody who's actually good,
This was a very fun experience. Yeah, this
So
person I thought was by far the best. Like there was a noteworthy difference between um, the folks who like you could tell they have a fighting background of some sort versus kind of you could
the
tell a lot of people are
the
just trying out and not really fighters in any way.
the, the big takeaway is he's moving his arms too much. The faster the weapons get, the less you can move your arms. Like the bigger movements get your arms taken
Oh,
immediately.
okay.
Yeah. So as you improve your hand motion, that box your hand stays in becomes smaller because you need less and less time to hit in other places
Oh, I
with
see.
a little
Okay.
little inside outside or a good stutter.
So those big cuts are just too much motion.
Well, it's the cut that goes through the box and past you, right? So if I'm missing from left to right and my sword is going outside and not in front of me, I'm
Yep.
gonna die, right?
Oh,
So if I'm
okay.
gonna throw at you, I'm gonna throw forward. I'm gonna throw forward and over. I'm gonna throw over and around, but I'm not gonna cut through. The weapon has no weight. Why would I throw a big cut, right?
Right.
Like anything that's passing from like where it went to his hips and then up, that's such a big a movement. And all you did was stutter, right? And as you get used to it, you draw big movements out of people, and then as he slashed at you, you just throw at his arm as it passed through.
Okay. It
It's
definitely
it's it's
moved
got
at a
its
very
own
fast.
it's got its own sets of rules and how you throw. And I think you're too far down on that longer sword. I've choked up about 6 inches
Okay.
because that initial throw is fine, but that's not what's going to kill people. It's 2 and 3.
Yeah, got it.
Notice he has a much shorter sword. If you'd have chucked up on the sword, you'd have been closer to the same reaction and response time.
Right. Okay.
Also, I can't tell if the handle's rounded or not. When you
It
have
is. Yeah.
the popsicles swords like that, it makes it easier to grab closer to the foam because you can tell where the blade is
Oh, okay.
and not throw flat.
Is flat a thing that
That's the
happens?
side. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The side of it, like there, like where you hit them with the side of the little
Yeah,
popsicle.
yeah.
And I don't know if everybody knows. I did amp guard for almost 18 years before I came to the SCA, and I was pretty good at it over there.
Does Amcard also have a shiv system? Because the Dagger here, I think,
Yes.
has a shiv
Yes.
system.
Well, their ship system is knight to squire, right? Like, so your knight thinks you're worthy, he'll knight you. Amp guard has an award structure.
Okay.
For sword fighting specifically, it's set up around winning tournaments and wins in a row, right? So so 3 wins in a row is your first, and your other one is like 21 wins in a row, or is their warlord, or
Oh,
also
okay.
4 tournament wins. And so in Amp Guard, I think I won more than 21. I don't know, 50 times probably, and then I probably won more tournaments than that. But I also did it for a very long time.
Right, right. Putting in
But
close to 2
but
decades.
like yeah, but Rags is also when he's more in practice than I am by far. And when I left, I thought he was the best at it when I left. Most people considered myself and Leaf when we played the best for a very long time. And I left it in his hands. He still runs my amp card company over there that I left.
Oh,
It's
that's cool.
27 or 28 years old now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you leaving
Yeah.
behind next gen.
Oh no, I trained a bunch of
That's
warlords and
cool.
sword knights over there. That's warlord is for fighting alone. Sword knight is supposedly for fighting and attitude, right? Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
It's not as crown driven over there, but still very much the same.
Right, right. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's different.
It is different. It's fun.
It can be very sudden, and the longer foot movements get you killed.
I,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, they probably still talk about me as the devil. They're scabious for sure. I was definitely not the nicest person. I was much younger, much more full of piss and vinegar.
Seeing you got
Yeah,
soft in your old age.
well, I was 17 then. I turned 47 here shortly. Of
Yeah.
course, I was a little farm boy who thought he was good at something, right? If you'd have told me 30 years ago I'd still be good at fighting now, I'd have laughed.
That's the efficiency that you've built over those years.
So it's a two-part process, right? So my two sword was built around being good at single in amp guard because a lot of your training in amp guard and stuff is single sword based.
Hmm.
And then I got good at two sword. I tore all my tendons of my right thumb and was left-handed for about a year. Had to have surgery on my hand, and then I come up with a good system over there to teach. And then it's two sword in itself is inherently hard,
Hmm.
right? And so if you don't come across a lot of good two sworders, you're going to get killed. I haven't fought over there in years. I probably can still go back and kill most shieldmen because two sword is an odd style, right? They were not used to the timing, the setups, and everything. And
Right.
two sword probably still kill most people. Uh, But when you're good at it and you're an outlier, you're going to kill a lot more people than you should. And two sword over here is it's almost like cyclical waves, right? You when you're newer, you lose fights you should win, and you win fights you should lose, right? And the better you get at it, the more you're trying to flatten that curve, right? You're
Yeah.
trying to make
Okay.
it because a good shieldman will generally always kill a worse shieldman, right? Because
Yep.
that's how it works. And two sword is not, right? Your goal is to get rid of the bullshit and make it as flat as possible.
Disrupt that meta.
Yeah.
Okay.
More
Yeah.
volatile, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. It can be volatile when you want to or not. And the problem is too many people equate aggression and volatility with mediocre two sword and get some wins, and they think that win loss ratio matters. Like, oh, they're getting good. Like, no, they're just fighting something people don't fight a lot. That's why so many people come to me. They're like, I want to fight my two sword against yours, and I'm like, I fought two sword and two sword for 30 years. I think I'll be all right. Because I have an approach to it. There's a method, and how you fight. And Rags is it's terrible to fight two sword on two sword. That is a miserable experience. I will be the first one to tell you. That boy hits briskly.
Does Amcard have hands as illegal targets? Same.
Yeah, no, yeah, to the wrist. Same as
Yep.
yeah, and in your ankle is a illegal target as well, as long as your foot is on the ground. But as soon as your foot comes on the ground, it's a legal target.
Okay.
So it's basically everything, and then basically from your collarbone up, right? Anything around your neck, you can't be hitting the neck.
Yep.
The problem with that is that arm is from the shoulder joint out there
Yeah.
out. So the difference between your shoulder joint to your neck, depending on your frame build, could be like 2 inches or like a 6-inch landing area.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
if you watch the block strike video, you hear me talk about hitting people in the pec, like right there in the front, because that's always a killing blow, right?
Okay. Yep. Makes sense.
Have you seen that video?
I
The
have.
little
Let's pull it up. Where's who
yeah.
has it? Which channel?
Brought up Coach's Corner has it. The little block strike video. You should be able to search up Coach's Corner, and it should be on there as block strike as one of them. We went to Detroit a couple years ago, I guess, and I taught one of the classes while I was up there. He's been asking to get my block strike video on there for a while.
I can let me send it to you.
You got it.
Oh, this one. Is this the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that one. Yep.
I have
the top
this
on
one.
there. That's it. And so that's just that video for how we teach hands and how we approach. And so it came about when I reversed my right knee and I couldn't be sudden anymore. And so I was practicing the whole time and working on how to move and how to hit without being able to use my feet. And so I was just trying to get hand position and hand placement where it wants you. And so this is about learn, and this is a Valor right there. He's since knighted. He was my last squire that got knighted. In 10 years, I've had 4 squires get recognized, and 2 others that were well above it that just not interested.
Oh, in the awards, yeah.
Yeah.
So
was
is
just
this
a
an
murder.
Amcard sword?
Yeah, these are both amp cards. They're poor amp card swords. I had them bring them for me. They're just bats, right? So they're probably like 6 ounces, 7 ounces.
Okay.
Super light.
So very fast.
They don't weigh any. Very fast.
Yeah. Okay.
The cover on the one I have is stretching out, right? And so the targeting is like on this is I'm trying to hit the outside of the forearm or what I call the back body, which would be like that peck on the non-sword arm, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just throwing at his measure, and then I'm not blocking or stuttering. I'm just throwing at what I consider open, and then I'm blocking what I consider primary based on where my sword was and where they block. And this is a drill to get used to blocking whether stuff crosses your vision or not. Because I generally try to block what I consider primary coming back to me, and then I want secondary will typically cross your vision. Secondary may be lower on the body, same side, and then tertiary will be crossing the vision. It just depends on how far apart you are in space. And,
yeah, your comment about fighting at this speed, being able to then transfer it into rattan and you're just feeling so much slower, makes a lot of sense. Just doing this work.
You overclock your brain a little bit.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very literally.
We just get used to seeing it, right? Like the first time you see actual epee or saber fencing Olympic, right? It looks very fast.
Yep.
But once you do it for a little bit, it's not, right?
Yep.
It's just you have to. Your brain will process what you train it at, right? And so if you put slow timing in it, so this looks fast to most people. It is very slow to me, right? Because I've done amp guard forever, and so I just know where my hand needs to be.
Right. It's a minimal movement for the action reaction.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I guess one question I have from rattan perspective, so I train with a boffer for myself a good bit, like when I do solo work or pel work or drill work or whatever, just because it is a convenient tool, and you can get more reps in without wearing your joints as much. For me, for me what doesn't translate. So all those onside flicks translate really well into the action, but the offside flick doesn't translate as well because it's harder to generate that power without kind of stressing out your elbow. If at least to me,
it's because you're pushing your shot, right? It means your forearm's in front of your hand, and I whip my shots. I get my elbow in front of them and I drive them over like I have a framing hammer. So it's like I hit people like I have a framing hammer. I'm very much just driving it over.
Okay.
Now amp guard is going to be more. But it's not a cut. It's a whip, right? So you're getting the pommel going, and then the sword itself cuts through the air. Right? It's different, right?
When you say whip, you mean like when you flick a towel, like a wet towel, and hit somebody? Like that sort of feel.
That motion, but it's basically where you started with your pommel is leading the way, and then the blade is what finishes, right? So you're not pushing through, you're snapping the sword through space, right? And it just takes a little bit to get used to. I can show you at Adult Swim what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm excited. We get to fight in a mall. The photo should be good. A whole ass mall. I'm excited about that.
So we teach a lot of hand matching. Like he's left-handed, right? And so then just denying where I think he's going to go, right? A little bit of movement, a little bit of throw, block what I consider primary.
Are you both posting on that front leg and just pivoting around?
Yeah, we're staying 3 foot apart. Yeah, so sword leg has to stay on the ground, sword foot apart. We do hats and bats. So I have heavier, basically dag swords with basket hilts on them, and we'll fight helmets and shields, and then helmets and or swords, whatever they're pricing on, helmet Madu, and usually wear your dimmies and sometimes your elbow, whatever's behind the shield, so the aluminum doesn't block you, and we fight with that, right? Because then you can hit with a heavier foam stick that doesn't hurt, but you're used to not holding your breath, you're used to that movement, where measure is, how far away you are, all the things that go with fighting that don't involve injury.
Right. Okay.
And so we're talking about where he's reaching. He gets so long, his feet get out there. You see, I was trying to stay just pretty much, that body's not twisting, right? It's all, everything I throw is through my shoulder.
Right.
I don't like torsion. As a whole, I find if you're twisting to throw stuff, you're going to be vulnerable on the other side.
Right. So you channel all your power forward. The punching forward more than anything else.
Yeah, and the movement helps.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, until they can get their strength up, a lot of people getting tired when they're fighting is they're holding their breath. Like the being hit, it makes you tense. And that tension is what tires people, I'd find. We also make them pel a bunch. Our basic pelling routine is 1,000 shots a hand. Once you can do that, fighting becomes a lot easier because now you're not getting tired when I'm trying to teach you.
Yeah, it's a 6 drill, right?
Yeah, 1 through 6, 7 times, both hands.
7 times.
That's forwards right-handed, forwards left-handed.
No.
Backwards right-handed, backwards left-handed. That's 1 cycle. Do 7 cycles.
No. And I remember this because John and I did it for a better part of a year when we were first fighting.
It really helps your shoulders get conditioned.
Just getting used to the movement of throwing.
Yeah, because I find if you're getting tired while you're fighting and you're not holding your breath, you just need to. I mean, what the old knights of old used to call it hewing. You know, they'd set up their little target and they'd hew. You know, so that little figure 8 that they're hewing, just building up shoulder strength. Because nothing makes you tired like never doing it.
Yeah. I still sometimes do what I remember learning from you, which is hold that stick so it's pointing directly backwards, like out the back of my head, essentially, that direction. Well, that's just a teaching mechanic. Like it's teaching you to find where your shoulder is, where your elbow needs to be, and snapping it in there. And sometimes we'll just hold a heavy thing in that position for the workout. We float around a little.
Simple.
Yeah.
My wife is saying my time is up. Gotta go help with the boy.
Yep. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Anytime.
Thank you for hanging out. I look forward to crossing blades with you on the rattan side since we've never done that. I look forward to getting beat up.
About 3 weeks from now. See you there.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. So we will see you there. Have a good night, Sven. Take it easy.
You too.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. Chat, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you guys joining us tonight. That was very informational. I will post this on YouTube over the next couple of days, so if you guys wanted to share it for those who missed it. And hopefully we will continue to have awesome humans come through and teach us stuff. 'Cause I'm about learning how to be a better fighter, even at, or I mean, honestly, I'm a decade plus. How long have you been fighting, John?
16 years.
16 years. I'm now on like probably 12, arguably, of some sort of sword fighting.
Yeah.
And we will hopefully continue to grow and be better.
That's the idea.
I know John's been grinding hard. He's trying to win him a crown, and I've been doing the same. How long have you been fighting, Dom? 20, 25 for fencing? Something like that.
That'd be something like that, right?
Yeah.
Since 2001.
Oh, yeah. My guess is spot on.
Yeah.
It's right
in
that
there.
range. Yeah. Yep.
Still old, Dom.
I know. Grandpa.
Grandpa Steak Steak, right?
Yeah. Oh, man. What a callback. That was fun. Remember when we slapped him with the master title over and over?
Oh, yeah.
At Pennsic.
Master Dominic, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, now everybody's been made and we're all doing this thing.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Sarabumi, right?
Yeah. Hopefully, your grace eventually. We'll see if.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a gulf between where I'm at and where like the consistent winners are at, and I feel like I've hit the underside of that. Right, like making top 6 consistently. It still feels like numerically it's close, but skill gap wise, it's a chasm between where I'm at and where those who are like multi-time dukes are at.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I get there.
Yeah.
I sometimes remind myself that, like, relatively speaking, I have not been doing armored fighting very long, right?
Right. Yeah. We're babies in the armored in a lot of the armored community. Yeah, and relative. Yeah. Mentoring activities. What are mentoring activities?
Interesting. I don't understand the comment.
Dom, could you clarify? It's it feels very vague. I don't even know if that's a good or a bad thing. When people say interesting, it could go pretty bad pretty quick. Oh, hello. Hold on.
You're really quiet.
Yeah, hold on. I'm turning you up. Go again.
You're really quiet.
You are. I think you're on a mic you don't mean to be on, because it sounds like you're on a mic that's like far away.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
You're now some like yeah. So, speaking.
Sorry, I had the video.
Oh, I think
Stream
it was us echoing. I think.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Here.
Yeah.
You
What
hear
is
me?
what? Yeah,
No.
gotcha. We can hear you now. What is interesting mentoring activities? Oh,
All right, say it one more time.
all right.
Interesting mentoring activities.
Yeah. What does that mean?
It means dealing with letting you guys call me grandpa all the time.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know how. I really actually don't know your age. I have an educated guess, but I don't know.
Say again.
I don't actually know your age, but I don't feel like you're that much older than me.
I'm 43.
Oh, yeah, you're not that much older. We're 5 years apart.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah,
You're both old.
I know. Fuck you, John.
Now,
Also,
what age were you when you started?
yeah, that's true.
Me
You
or
were
Boomy? Who are you asking?
John, what age were you when you started?
Oh, I was
SCA?
14 when I started.
Yeah. I was 21.
21.
I was
That's still
20.
pretty
All the people that mentored me started when they were like 39.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, down in the Richmond practice. I think I was 25 or so, 24 or something like that. 38. No, not even. I'm probably like 27 when I started fencing. I think
At
Really?
27, 28, something like that. Yeah.
at Pennsic we brought Drew, who's a new fencer from here that we've been coming up, and
Yeah.
my brother Mike, and she's 19. And my brother Mike, who is Miguel, who's the youngest mod in the SCA, he was 19 when he got his mod, told her that he was you're behind. By the time I was your age, I was already behind.
Oh no, Mike! Come on, man.
Rude ass
She
bitch.
thought it was funny. It was just a joke, but it was still like. She's like, I just started fencing like a year ago, and he's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, what were you doing with your life?
Are
What are
they,
you doing?
are they still going? Duke Sean? Oh, it's Barry. I don't know all the humans.
Was one of these an Atlantean?
Barry is not Atlantean. He's Anglesey, but he comes down to some Atlantean stuff. He's up in
I've seen his
East.
videos. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we've crossed a lot of spears over the years.
yeah. He does a lot of spear content, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And melee content.
Where's the guy?
I don't know. Do you know Duke Sean of Artemisia? I don't know that person.
I know him by reputation, not personally.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Duke
actually
Sean, I've
in
met
that
him. I've hung out
study,
with him.
we
I've
actually
never seen him
found there
fight.
wasn't really much of a difference
pretty good.
on
He's,
the average from knights who
He
fought
travels a
more than
lot. He
once
goes
a
all
week.
over the place.
Once a
He
week, really.
gets flown out to teach a lot. Very
Okay.
good
Okay.
teacher. Very good
So
fighter.
good coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know
What does that mean?
these other people.
KSCAOL.
Knight, SCA, Order of the Laurel is the last
Oh,
one.
Laura would be.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
well.
That's the guess. Okay.
And then, yeah, Knight of the SCA, I guess.
I don't
KSCA?
know. It's letters that I don't know the specific meaning to. Is what it is.
Some letters of something.
Maybe we'll watch some of the Coach's Corner stuff and and kind of chime in as part of our stream here. I enjoy
We can do
that. Live react.
Just heckle their stream a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, I can just live react it.
Every practice you go
I have to do all the
gets you
fit-
about one
Oh,
degree
no.
closer
I gotta do all
to
the-
getting elevated. And every
Twitch Inception
week of
thing
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
every
exactly. That's
7
exactly how that
power
works.
practices
Oh
gets
my
you about
God.
1 week
How would you
closer.
say
So
that?
I say that about
That's
7
crazy.
days of Pell work is about the
Yeah,
same
stuff like
as
that.
1 day.
Oh my goodness.
Or
What
the
happened
other
to his hair?
people, and
Yeah.
these are rounding up the numbers, but I said
I did watch the
every
VOD of
practice-
y'all's when y'all were watching the stream of the Crown a couple weeks ago, whatever.
Oh, you watch us watching Crown,
Yeah,
watching
that was
you.
just fun. I was like, I wanted to see what y'all had to say. I was
Yeah,
like, oh, it's
yeah, that was fun.
I skipped through some of it because it was long.
Yeah, it
but
was long. It was 4 hours, man. That was we just chilled mostly.
We couldn't skip. That's something we could do.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome for a 20-minute fight, right? 30-minute fight.
Thanks for the
Good
content?
Lord.
Question mark. Dom and I took a mid-fight break to chat.
It was like 7 inning stretch, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a long fight, man. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I wish they challenges in hell they help training. I've not watched a Coach's Corner thing before, but it seems cool. Is this the biggest centralized, the largest centralized SCA fighting stuff?
I can't tell. I saw the people on there, and I was just like, I don't know any of these people. I was looking for some stuff to watch, and I was just like, man, I don't know any of these people.
It's pretty good content in general, and it's all heavy fighting basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
But they have like Sven's been on that before. Duke Branos is on a lot. A lot of really good fighters and good trainers. And they have they have a Facebook page too that they just good discussion on. So
I like the name. Like, I feel in general that there's a lot of teaching that happens, but not nearly enough coaching.
Yeah. Yep.
what is your what is the difference in your opinion between those two?
Teaching how to do something, right? Like, here, hold your thing here, teach your thing here,
Sure.
and then ensuring you have the skill to do it in performance, right?
Okay.
Or so, can you do it under pressure? Is it useful to you in your system? That kind of thing. Versus, here's how you do a thing. Like, I can teach somebody to lunge in 5 minutes. It's not going to make them be able to, lunge at the right time.
I think coaching, to Dom's point, it has everything to do with like the you can either do it immediately, like when you corner somebody and you see something in a fight, you speak up, right?
Yeah.
Like you did for like you had a corner, right, for John?
Yes.
For a crown. And then
Yeah.
another version of that, in my opinion, that also falls into that same category is, say you have that same coach on the sidelines. You go out, you spar, you go back, they talk to you, you go back out, you spar, or you continue your tournament, etc. Like someone cornering in a live interaction, not
Sure.
teaching
And then
more classroom.
the add-on to that would be like, okay, so he had you in these particular areas, right? He took advantage of you here. This is going to inform our practice for the next whatever time
yeah.
period to the next tournament,
Yeah.
right? Because I've seen people that I know just need some coaching,
Yeah.
and they go, oh man, I just got to tear everything back down again and start over with a new master period manual.
You just need to apply what you're already doing a little better or a little differently.
Or fill in some gaps, and it's a lot of times it's really tough to see while you're in it.
Yeah. That really is it. That's the while you're actually doing activity, you don't notice a lot of times your own weaknesses or patterns.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
Oh, so that's what I got when I was growing up, quote unquote. I'm doing finger quotes right now.
Yeah.
Is not necessarily coaches, but just like sword geeks on the side of the field with me, going, "Hey, he did this and he did this. You know what happens when he does this? What are you gonna do next time?" That kind of thing. It was more of a discussion back and forth. It doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
Sorry, John. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was just gonna say that that's basically what having Lachlan as a coach essentially for the last few years for heavy fighting has made such a big difference, and it's kind of fun to have that again.
Yeah.
Being new, newer and coming up through, and then having coach, and then Lachlan is he's definitely the most successful fighter that has coached me this closely before.
Sure.
So it's been pretty fun for me to have that.
Yeah, I think that's dope.
I would also say the coach doesn't necessarily have to be teaching or whatever. It can just be back and forth.
Oh, sure, that's a good point.
Especially in the high level. If you and I are in a high level tournament, three of us are in Queens tournament. We have not fighting each other. Queen's champion, the golfers, right? We can sit there and coach each other on the sidelines.
Yep.
Even if that's not with the actual
yeah. Even if it's not the
goal of
formality
it
of coaching.
That's a good point, and that definitely happened.
Yeah. I call it cornering, but yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah, I call it cornering when there's not because coach in my head has a power differential in some the authority versus the non-authority.
Sure.
But yeah.
I actually think that's how Dom and I became friends, honestly.
Oh, it's cool. It's talking, coaching each other.
Oh yeah.
Well, he specifically coached me, I think, in a tournament at Penzik that I ended up winning actually, and he had me some it's good advice. Also, just kept me I tend to get nervous, so it was just having someone to talk to on the sideline, kept me calm. So.
Oh yeah, that was definitely your definition of cornering at that point, right? It was keeping him focused. I remember this very, very specifically, actually. Man, it's been a long time.
Yeah, man. We've been doing this for a fucking minute.
Keeping him focused, but not in a scary, oh my God, he's gonna get you kind of way.
Yeah.
Right. And also just, talking through and geeking out on the same thing that he was thinking in his brain,
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of quick connection. It was oh, this guy's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So.
That's how
I became friends with Boomy because he beat me in a tournament.
And
then I beat him back, and then.
I think it's probably the same thing for me.
Beat me? Did I beat you in a tournament? No shots.
I think I first fought you that one time you beat me in the Sapphire. Or it might have been Ruby. I don't remember what gem it was.
I've never been to a Sapphire. And I remember specifically at a defending gate when it was muddy, and then you invited me to the Dragoons. Prior to that, I don't remember any of our interactions. I might have seen you from the sidelines, but not been a.
Where were you living when you fought that first Ruby?
In Fredericksburg.
Still the same place? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, same area, same general area. I graduated college and then found the SCA within a couple of years, and then started fighting. Started shooting. I shot for about a year and change, maybe a year and a half, just archery and dance, and then switched over to rapier not long after. And
I did that for a while too, honestly. When I first started, I thought it was pretty cool and sword fighting was cool, but there was a lot of the other bullshit that I was not interested in.
Oh, for you? Okay.
Yeah. It was a 2-year period where I went to practice once or twice.
Got it. I definitely started with archery because it was fun. I was oh, I've never shot before. traditional
Yeah.
archery. So,
Archery is actually a lot of people's like kind of gateway because it's pretty low barrier for entry.
yeah,
So they
I think
have the
that's the
gear.
big
A lot of
thing.
times they have good loaner gear, right? You like
Yep.
here's a bow, here's some arrows, shoot.
Yep, and no
Yeah.
off process, right? You don't need an
Yeah,
off
no off
process.
process.
So you can just pick up and shoot.
And you're also not going to get hit with an arrow.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Archery for all. Is that how you started? That's cool.
Me?
No, Miguel was saying that.
Oh,
Oh, hold on. Sorry. Rowan. Oh, sorry. My bad. I thought you were Miguel.
Is that Miguano?
That's what I'm trying to read the name. Mig
Is that-
Estiguano. Estiguano.
Why
Miguano
do you have such a-
Estiguano.
Ron, why do you have such a fucked up name? Come on.
Rude peer ass peer.
I can't say anything. My nickname is one I got when I was 16. I just used it ever since.
Oh man, that was good with Sven. He's very
Yeah.
insightful. I'm ready to fight him at
Oh yeah,
Adult
yeah.
Swim.
I'm ready to watch.
You're not gonna fight. Oh, I guess you've gotten your.
I
You've
fight.
gotten
I
your
can fight
fill.
Sven all the time. I fight Sven like every few weeks or
Yeah,
months.
I gotta
like,
fight you
know,
for the fucking starfish again.
Oh, yeah, I don't have the starfish.
I don't know. I
You
don't
got
think I have
starfish?
either.
Horse, I think, has the starfish.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. You took it
got
off of
it.
me after the fucking thing.
Sorry, still have it.
Yeah.
What is this Trident challenge thing that Atlantea is doing?
I think it's the coolest thing ever, but no one else really does. It's a series of tournaments all throughout the year. And if you win a tournament, you get a trident. And at the end of the year, you can, if you have a trident, you can go and enter the final trident tournament and become the, was it there's some, is it trident? Your Atlanteus trident or something?
That's really cool.
Is there
I've
a site
been
for it
wanting it.
anywhere?
No, there's no site for it specifically. It comes up on the Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
I just saw some people posting about it, and then
It'd be like
there's-
Kraken or something. No,
Yeah.
no, because Kraken's already taken. What is it?
And then there's some guy posted a video of himself showing off the Trident he won.
But
Sir
Hrothgar, right?
Sir, yeah, Sir, yeah,
Hrothgar.
yeah, Sir Hrothgar.
Hrothgar.
Yeah.
Yeah. He won the one down in.
Ansteorran did a thing like that a couple different years where it was like we called it Tournament of Champions. So like if you won a tournament throughout the year, then you would could fight in the final tournament.
The
They did-
problem is that you got to pick a good final tournament, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
we
if you
created
get-
they created a whole like new event for it at the end of the year for us. That's part of the why it died is because it was hard to maintain.
yeah, it's hard to maintain. The key is going to be like, is the final tournament going to be one that everyone can make to make it an actual good tournament?
Yeah,
That makes sense.
it was.
And that's probably going to vary year to year, but like I can't imagine that like that to me though. I come from a sports background, right? So having the seasonal kind of section out is just awesome for me.
Yeah.
Right? I won this thing, and I'm now the Kraken. I can put that on my whatever forever.
No, it was. I guess we did it 3 years. They did 1 year it was only rapier, and then they did or only heavy, and then they did 2 other years it was rapier. And I won it one of the years it was rapier. But then they didn't let you. They didn't let you like repeat. Like you couldn't fight in it if you'd won the rapier before you couldn't fight in.
That makes sense. I mean, it's a lot of ways to do it, right?
It kind of makes sense, but I was a little salty about it. It's like I can't win this again. What?
John, we know your feelings about not being able to enter. They're not a
I'm not
mystery.
I'm not as vocal about it as Brian Nomura is, but
Oh, that's different though. That's different. They're like they go whole hog here of 1 year, or in Atlanta 1 year. If every tournament was like, you can't have one in the last 6 months. You can only fight if you are left-handed and born on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So if you travel to an event, right, and it's just like, yeah, you're ranked too high to fight today.
yeah.
Goodbye.
No, I mean I mostly agree with him, but I think it's funny.
Oh man. All right.
Only Aquarius is in this tournament.
Yes.
John, I have a question for you.
Yes, Boomy.
How is
I'm
our
sorry.
trivia?
I didn't
going?
mean to ambush your thing. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I wanted to poke him about the trivia. How's that going?
Not super good if I'm being honest, or not. This is a lot of progress because I procrastinated, but I will do better.
Procrastinating ass. Fucking John. Let's get this thing done. Chat. For those who are here, we're going to do a trivia night, a SCA trivia night sometime in the near future. We're working on details now. And everyone should harass John in chat and tell him to get his
To
shit together.
write questions, yeah.
To finish up the questions, because we already started the work.
Titan of Atlantia.
Yeah, we were trying to we were talking about like who to bring on as guests, like the fun different shtick that you could do. Like you could pit like one set of royals against another, and then have the questions be a mixed about each other's kingdoms, or there's different ways to do it that could be fun.
I think it'd be funny to bring in like someone who's been in the SCA for like 50 years, and then someone who's been in it for like 2.
And just get stomped sideways.
I actually kind of like that idea.
Just hear their reactions, right? Like, what's the kingdom of whatever it is?
Yeah. I
Crown,
never heard
be
of
like,
that.
I don't know. Do you say what?
Yeah.
I could do like a generational, like boomer versus Gen Z or something.
Oh.
Yes.
As the
SCA boomer.
No. Scadian boomer. I feel like the SCA generation happens in every like 5-7 years or something.
It's like 3 to 5 years as a SCA generation, honestly. So.
Yeah.
This is why they call me grandpa.
Yeah.
Well, so if you want to go by period, it's like 8 to 10 years.
That's why John's the perfect person to come up with these questions.
I'm also just weirdly like, I'd like to know things about the SCA. So.
Hey, trivia is fun. I like it. Game shows.
I like to know people that I can ask about things about the SCA.
Yeah, John just
That's why you
drops
know
random
me.
facts at me every so often.
What's that? Sorry, that again, Billy?
I was saying that you just drop facts. Like sometimes we'll be hanging out and you'll just be like, "Here, did you know this?"
That's true. Yeah,
Really
I do that.
Fun fact with John.
Fun facts with John. We should make a podcast
Segment. I was thinking about this the other day. Our Throwdown Thursdays, or like basically this conversation, is basically a podcast. It's essentially that,
yeah.
format-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely sterilize it, right? Put it on
Yeah.
or something.
I mean, Dom had the podcast for a while.
Oh man, there are so many better ways to do a podcast nowadays than when I was doing it. It was pain in the ass.
No,
It was fun though.
I would redo that.
Yeah.
I like
It was like
the YouTube video. It's easier.
it was like what 4 hours to edit, like an hour of audio.
Oh, did you you chopped it up and made it a thing?
Well, you just had to edit out like pauses and normalize the audio because like somebody's too far away from the microphone.
Yeah, spikes and stuff. Okay. I just slap whatever we do on the internet.
Well, it's fine now, right? Because everyone has a good microphone, right? Everyone's got a good camera.
That is true. The equipment, the general gear that everybody has is higher quality.
Yeah.
Generally.
Even like crappy stuff is better than what it used to be.
By a lot, yeah. I'm using a buttery microphone.
Yeah.
And I
You
can yell at you guys.
just
It
take
sounds
the good. audio of this and post it, like
Mhm.
Ron was saying.
Yep.
Yeah, video review though. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, the video review would be hard, but
We could definitely do a podcast if we wanted to just talk about stuff and make it audio available.
Yep.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, so I love the idea of doing podcasts, especially about because there's no one else doing like sword fighting podcasts.
That's
Very
gotta
minimal,
exist. 100% has to exist. All right.
but not
Very
quite
good.
not quite the way I would want though. Like I've looked.
Okay. You want it to be very martially focused?
Yeah, and like sporting too, right? So like Guy Windsor has a podcast, but it's a lot about like he's very historically minded, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So like the cross section that like the three of us talk about, where it's like sword fighting, but it's also like from a sporting perspective. It's not something like there's plenty of sport podcasts, right?
Yeah,
But there's not like a lot of sport podcasts about about what we do.
Right.
that's true. We do tend to like bend towards the ESPN versus the NPR.
Yes.
Get the version.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. Avery messaged me earlier and he said that he listened to the like breakdown with Lachlan last week, and he said it was cool, but also that he was definitely not as big of a fight nerd as we were.
Oh, okay.
Lachlan was one of the ones who I was surprised that there was someone who was as nerdy as me on that.
Oh, about stuff like this. I love it.
Yeah, I had never heard of a someone that like deep nerdy on heavy fighting, right? But
Okay.
that's could just be exposure for me, right? Because a lot of
Yeah.
exposure I get from heavy fighters when they talk about stuff is, well, don't be a wimp, like
Right,
it's okay
right.
to get
Not particularly useful, you know.
right.
No, I love when people really get into weeds, like the physics, the psychological aspects. That stuff is.
But he was very practical though, right? Like his stuff was down in the weeds, but it was very practical and like useful and accessible, as opposed to like sometimes I feel like when I'm talking about rapier stuff, I see people's eyes glaze over, kind of like, oh, too deep.
Right, right. Not in the weeds as much.
Yeah. No, I think Lachlan's definitely one of the best teachers I've ever worked with on either field, honestly. So, but yeah, he definitely goes deep, but it's practical, like you're saying. So,
What all does mental toughness cover for you, Rowan? I was about to
Yeah,
type that up in this
what would
break.
mental toughness be for you, bro?
don't be a wimp.
I'm curious. Oh yeah,
I mean,
armor
part of
defense.
it.
Okay.
Tournament mindset.
Oh, okay. I thought all day about that. But
Really?
she's probably heard it before.
It's Rowan's favorite thing to talk about, though. Really.
Maintaining the correct mindset and not letting it break. Okay.
I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Do you want to come
That'd be
on? You want to come on as a guest, Dom and Rowan, and we can have a take one of our Throwdown Thursdays and make it a breakdown of how we would approach the psychological side of fighting. I think it'd be
Could
fun.
it be
Fun
a
conversation.
Throwdown Friday?
It can, so that you don't have to suffer as much.
Is that, so well, it's more than I'm technically working right now.
Fight Mind Friday.
Fight mind.
Yeah,
Fight Mind
we'd have
Friday, I
to we'd
like
have to
it.
schedule it.
Yes, let's do
The
it.
four of
We'll
us.
break your mindset.
Yeah, we'll just
That
make it a
came
Fight
out
Mind. Fight Brain Friday. I don't know. I need some alliteration.
You do love your alliteration.
wrong.
Absolutely.
You do.
I like the idea of serializing things. Jake,
You
yes,
should-
I've been fencing. So the folks in chatting right now, we're all three mods of the SCA. I've been fencing now for like 12ish years. John, how long you been fencing?
16.
And Dom, how long you been fencing?
That's it. Long.
2 decades plus. So yeah, we've all and then I transitioned over to Armored like 4 years ago ish at this point, and I have since received my knighthood, and I am chasing crown currently, and it will take however long it takes. Just learning a different form. But yeah, if you watch my crown fights, I just fence people, and it worked really well.
Oh, don't get him started.
Do you have any tips coming from fencing into heavy? I would, for me personally, and this John and I took very different approaches because we're both crossed over. He's been fighting in the last many crowns as well, including the one Sven just won.
Yeah.
And we'd had very different approaches. I basically figured out how to use my fencing set of skills and implement it in Armored. Whereas John is I would say kind of rewriting some of his programming. Right, he's fighting instead of sword like lead, he's fighting shield like lead. And so I would say it kind of depends whether you want to actually relearn a new thing in a more traditional way, or whether you want to take what you already know and try to make that work in the context of rattan combat.
I would also add that the biggest difference between, because range, timing, all of that is the same, right?
Yep.
Or it's very similar. The calibration is hard, right? You have trained yourself to throw to the surface of a target and stop, and you have to learn to throw through the target.
Yep, punching all the way through.
So having ramping and heavy fighting takes a little more it's a little more intense to do it well, right? You're not just playing sword tag, and high. There's certain times that rapier does become intense too, to the similar level, but the average level of heavy fighting is much more intense than the average level of rapier fighting. So you have to bring your intensity up a little bit. So learning to do that is probably the biggest hurdle. So um, I did a lot of pelling, especially because I started during the pandemic, so there wasn't really a lot of access to sparring.
Yep.
So I did a lot of pelling. Boomy and I did it like a lot. We'd pell together on Discord, pelling, and then when I actually started fighting, just learning to be like, no, I'm not gonna hurt. You're not gonna hurt someone. You just have to like swing through them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Power
that's a little more
gen-
specific than Boomy's advice, but
Yeah, power gen is definitely the one big difference. I fully agree. Just learning power gen, whether it's rotational, whether it's like what Sven does, which is all kind of forward and back power generation, like
Yeah.
throwing his body weight into the attack. All of it is just figuring out how to manipulate power along with timing, measure, and then mechanics of the weapons in question.
yeah. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube about how to throw with power
Crazy
that are
ones.
a lot of them are good too.
Yeah.
Like, so just do a little poking around and see what Duke's method speaks
Yep.
to you.
This is a good one, a good collection of them for the
Yeah.
Coach's Corner. I'll plug them now.
Because Duke Branos has some good stuff, and
Yep,
Duke
Branos.
Sean, if you type in like Duke Sean, that also he has a lot of good videos about specifically the basic flat snap offside, like wrap shots, like the very basic shots, how to throw them. So
Dom, would you ever do armored? Oh, he might be working.
lame.
Would I or did I?
Would you?
Um, the biggest barrier probably for me has been like the equipment.
Okay.
Sure.
Probably what I would end up doing is like Spirit War. I feel like that would be a lot of fun.
Join our spear crew.
But there's also like I enjoy rapier so much, and I feel like it would be kind of tough for me to get that much enjoyment out of heavy. If only because like I realize the skill gap would just be gigantic, right?
I mean, if you did it like from your background, right? Like, you would probably be pretty good pretty fast, right? Like, I think it hasn't. Like Boomy and I are not the best, but it didn't take us very long to be like decent.
People
We have
walk
similar
around at least
background
think I'm
as you do.
fantastic at
That's just
spear.
been my thinking in the past, right? Like I can be really good at rapier, or I can split my tongue. You know, that's what's kept me from doing it in the past.
Sure. That's what kept me
Specifically
from doing it as
spear.
well.
Like if you took out all the other stuff, right? Sword, board, and all that. Specifically spear, I think it would take you very little time to get to very good.
But then, like, how often would I get to do spear? Like, how often do you practice spear?
I don't. I have never really practiced spear, but people think I'm very good at spear in Kingdom, which I think I'm very good at it. I just do it at events. I fight the melees with spear because to me it's easy work and it's very effective for my
Easy work.
Yeah, like relative to
I'm
having to get in the
easy
line.
work, right?
Easy relative to getting in the scrum with the sword and board for me.
Sure. And well, the other thing is, right, like I don't know if it was just the timing or the people that like were my mentors growing up,
Mm-hmm.
but like the people that I would hang out with were all Dukes, right? And Dukes are typically very big and very athletic and very experienced,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the gap there between the people that I was hanging out with and me, as a beginner was just massive.
Right.
So that's kind of like why it never happened,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sure, and that makes sense.
If you want to try spear, you can try the rapier one. It's fucking broken.
Try the rapier spear. You broke the spear.
No. I just mean the form is it's so busted. It's OP as fuck. Like
Right.
I'm already longer than most people, so I can use, and I'm good with measures, so I can use that to kind of run lines effectively in melee. But when you give me an extra like 3 feet is all I really need, and I can just poke toes. I can just leg entire lines, and they can't do anything about it. It's silly.
Yeah, I think the
The
spears
rapiers.
aren't that fun to me. The rapier spears.
There's no
Like a
counter.
spear duel, rapier spear duel is kind of cool, but like in melee, it's a whole different game.
Well, the counter is there's no
Guns.
direct counter. It's neutralizing it with another spear. The actual counter is a giant ass shield. You can run them down.
Right.
Like spears, not dangerous if you can just go forward and push through their spear with a
Right.
defensive object.
We're not Phoenicians. We're not trying to be a phalanx or whatever.
Yeah, archer is definitely a normal counter, but a functional counter as well. But yeah, that's the. I think you would enjoy being part of Spear Crew.
That'd be fun.
We've had a lot of fun. Taurus, myself, Golfrid, John, and I've seen others. Have you seen like Gavin and some of the other fencers who used to be Atlantean moved away, and other mods that we know have crossed over?
Gavin? I haven't talked to Gavin in a long time.
Yeah, I've the last several times I've seen him, it's been on the armored field, and it's been spear specifically, and he's a good spearman.
Well, wait a minute. He's in Callantyr though. It's kind of Raper's kind of meh over there anyway, right? Or
Correct.
Nah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
When they do like Callan Steel or whatever the fuck they call it.
yeah. So I'm not surprised you moved over to heavy.
Yeah. What's his name? Kato's gonna do heavy Eagle first, I think, this year too.
Hell
crossover.
yeah! I like it when we have the fencing crew that we all like. We're friends. We all know each other, and then we all armor up and go grab spears and go kind of fuck around. That's great. Remember we jumped what's his face at Penzik in the kamikaze?
Oh yeah, Sir Corwin.
It's Corwin, yeah.
From My
remember
Kingdom,
that? Yeah, dude,
That was
that's
really
good
funny.
shit.
He's a little salty about it too.
Yeah. So Dom, we were at the kamikaze battle, which is the warm up melee battle. It's not a serious thing,
Right.
But is he a duke as well?
He's just a knight.
He's not. Yeah, he was kind of talking some like about his spear prowess the night before. With a couple of drinks in, as we do. And
Oh no.
that morning, John, Torres, and myself, at one point we had kind of started to corner him a little bit, and I was like, "All right, we're gonna grab him. 1, 2, 3, go!" And we all just jumped at him on the call, and it worked out pretty well. It was fun to watch and do.
No, wait a minute. Kamikaze is supposed to be everyone against everybody, right?
No, they have yes, but they have it in 2 teams, and you can kind of join whichever team you want and fade in and out as you desire.
Okay.
So it's
And
sort
it's
of
just an endless red.
It's
res.
endless
There's like not even
two-sided
any
melee.
objectives. It's just
no objective.
go and fight.
Yep, go fight. Yeah, it's fun. Actually,
No, I thought it was like everyone for themselves, and then you guys just decided to fuck with that.
No. We were on the other team.
I
We
mean-
just jumped them.
We would probably do that also even if that was the rules.
Yeah, that's true. That doesn't change us being friends and jumping other people.
Yeah.
I'd get better.
You can't be talking. You can't be talking your game and not showing up on the field.
Drunken smack talk is gonna have consequences later. Right?
Always.
Yeah.
That is. And I expect it. If I'm talking some shit, I better back it up with my blade. Right?
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah,
You can't be
that's
dodging people.
the best shit, really.
Yeah, I think that's part of what's fun.
I definitely come up against people on the field that were talking shit like the night before in a war, and just crank it to 11 and go at them.
Yeah.
And then afterwards be like, oh, that was the tequila talking.
Yeah. You got that like the big brain meme. Like, yep, I knew. Yeah, that's one of the things I really like about Sven is that he talked some trash to me at Penzik, and then that following Adult Swim, he grabbed his rapier gear and we fought. To me that was big. This big back up your words regardless of outcome.
Oh, dude, I wish I lived in North Carolina and could mentor Rothgar.
Yeah. Oh, for fencing?
For fencing?
Yeah.
Oh
He's
my goodness.
very good.
So naturally talented. He would just be so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Get up to
I think he's been playing a lot of fencing recently, and I think he's trying to make a push on that side.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, Ravenson. Yeah, R. Rothgar.
Honestly, just mostly because, well, actually, I won the diamond tournament with him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
South Carolina. Okay, South Carolina.
Oh, I didn't know that. Get down all the way down in Myrtle Beach. It's a hike, boy. He makes it up to a lot considering that's out there.
Oh, I don't know. I miss road trips.
Yeah. Well, hey, you'll be back soon. Hopefully, if you're in my neck of the woods for a year, we can carpool to a few things.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm down. I hear
Out here, you just drive for an hour and see nothing, or 3 hours and see
it's like
nothing.
Texas, right?
Just desert.
Yeah, just well, is
The
it
outback.
desert?
You on a walkabout? What they call it?
Is that where you do
No,
drugs
you
and find
go in the
yourself?
middle. So like, there's no gas stations, so you
Oh.
can't go there.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. The Outback just doesn't have the infrastructure for that
Yeah,
much
no, there's
expansion.
nothing. There's nothing there. It's gone. Like you literally have to carry gas cans in the back of your
Oh,
truck
shit.
to get anywhere.
That's weird to think about. The U.S. is not like that generally. There's like something
Which is why
everywhere.
I miss, like, let's carpool to an event.
Oh.
Even though it's like 3 hours away, it's still like stop if you need to.
Yeah. You get everything you need. Dude, the most desolate place I've driven through in the U.S. was going up to Canada, northern Maine. A couple of times I was like, we might not find a gas station in time. It was a little spooky at times.
Like, who is Ghost Asm? I don't.
Did you see that Sven sent a video of him fighting foam?
No, is it Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me pull that up. Hold
I
on.
don't have to watch it right now, but it's.
Who's
I think I
Ghost
watched
Asm?
Armor Fighter. Let's see.
We should go to Myrtle Beach.
Oh
but,
yeah,
like, in the
yeah.
fall or the spring. And morning. Okay, cool. Yeah, all good. I just, I'm pretty sure your name wasn't Ghost Chasm.
Ghost Asm.
What if that was his given name?
What?
It's fighting out here right now. It's 102 outside.
Oh wow.
104 went up.
Ooh, gross.
I mean, that's what it was here in
Okay,
Texas
okay,
last
chat.
summer.
Okay, chat. Check this out. This is
What?
Sven, but
Where?
from a good while ago. He just sent this to us. That
Neither
is
of those
amazing.
are Sven.
The one on the right is Sven.
Yeah,
That
Sven.
in the red?
Yeah. I don't know how long ago this was, but it's a long ass time ago.
Well, when was the video posted?
The post was 15 years ago,
Oh, okay. Your
so it's at
face is
least that
covering
old.
Hey, he's doing the same thing he does now.
Yo.
Yeah.
Oak.
Just switching hands because he was bored, I think.
Anytime I see these, I'm like,
Oh,
his
man.
face is right there. Hit him in the face.
Yeah. The auto. Yo. I a couple of times had to stop myself from thrusting people in the face. Like I felt the compulsion during the melees and such.
Well, when I was watching your video, I was like, homeboy has glasses on out here? What's he doing?
I know. Yeah. It was fun. I think it would be fun for us, like us Skadians, to go like jump in on a DAG event just at some point, just for funsies. Not to be like, not to flex, just kind of like test our metal in a different sport.
I'd be down to that. I'd be down.
Interesting.
Yeah, like maybe when you come visit, John, we'll look up DAG here in the local area, and then see if it's like an event or something.
I don't know.
like that.
If John's visiting, though, like, I don't know if I want to waste time on a dagger.
I think it's fun. It's a bonding experience.
Fun.
Also, I'm trying to convince John to come out here and like stay for a minute to do some work.
Yeah, it'd be like for like an extended stay if we did. That would be a good time. Because I agree, if it was like for a shorter stay, I wouldn't want to waste my time.
I don't assume you're
but,
doing that for Adult Swim, but
yeah.
although I could bring my boffers and we can challenge each other in boffer fighting. Challenge Sven. That'd be
Do some
fun to
drunk buffer
film.
fighting.
I need to put some
Airbnb
like,
after.
I'd put some tape on the foams or my boffers. My boffers are all black.
Oh, for striking edges.
Yeah. Well, not even that. Just like video visibility.
Oh, even. Were you reading that they were posting about? It sounds like the mall is actually open.
Yeah.
Adult Swim.
Okay, so
Billy was showing me.
Like,
So
let's jump over to
the food court.
Macy's and get a shirt. Like,
It's legit.
Yeah, no, it sounded like that.
It's actually
like,
that.
Go by Hot Topic for a little bit.
It's one of those malls that's like in disarray and likely going to close in the near future, in the coming years. But it is still half open. like half has enough business to sustain itself, half doesn't.
I feel like that's actually pretty convenient, like for the food court reason.
Yeah,
right?
because
Like,
the food court is literally open, and they have like a
I hope
massage
there's
place
tons
if
of
you want to go get
pictures
a
of like heavy fighters sitting in a food court eating some
That's
dumplings.
exactly what I'm excited about. There's just gonna be a lot of good photos for that. We're all like, we invade the food court. It's gonna be funny shit.
it'd be really funny. Yeah, I'm
Bunch
excited.
of a bunch of Scadian humans just chilling in a modern ass mall. And we mean
That's
to be there. It's not just like a shtick.
The most,
a bit.
the weirdest version I have of this is one time I was Queen's champion and we had it was crown tournament. The event happened in a hotel room or a hotel, and the Queen was going back to her hotel room, and so I was guarding the Queen. So I walked up and the Queen was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to my hotel room." So me and the heavy champion just stood outside the hotel, like in a hotel room hallway with the swords, just waiting for her.
Fun story around that. One of the first times I was guarding a queen, I was following her and I was carrying around the big spear they had, and I was definitely posted outside the door so the queen could go enjoy some afternoon delight and was not to be disturbed.
D&D.
That's funny.
Yeah. I was like 2 years in too, right? Like, or 3 years in. I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, oh, this is a fun thing to do. Guard the queen. That was the closest to actual guarding I've ever done, right? Like,
yeah. You were the Saknador.
exactly.
Which I think is funny.
That's great.
I was like, is this happening? That's really happening? I think it's happening. Yes.
Hey man, humans are horny. It's just part of being human, or
It
from
is
many
part
people's
of that.
experience.
I'm not gonna say what it was because they got R&D, but whatever.
Well,
This is
Not for that.
This is
Not
pretty
for that.
crazy.
Not for that.
Watch Sven as a baby, relatively. Relative baby Sven.
look how casual he blocks that.
No. Yeah. He's done
Yeah,
it a
I
million times.
think this is a good.
I love that despite
What the
the
fuck?
old footage, like like some of the stuff in the back it's still kind of reminiscent of what we do.
Yeah.
Same shit.
Well, the thing is, I think his opponent here is actually like an established fighter because he has a very distinct style that he's using, and it's
Yep,
just
yep.
not working.
He's got the Faris suck the torso back. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
like, cross cut down.
Combined with the behind the head rolling wrap.
Yep. And the slot shot forward. Yeah, exactly. It's someone who's at least done it enough to be competent.
Yeah.
He's his ass kicked.
Was
I
it-
like
mean,
I like how his blocks, like Sven's blocks right here. So something I used to practice a ton. Probably the closest thing to drilling I've ever done with rapier is only parrying enough to get it offline, not over parrying.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause he's very like stops like right here. It doesn't go farther out. It doesn't matter, right?
That makes sense in the context of armor to try to like emulate that idea. Baby Sven.
yeah, we did a rapier drill sometimes where like you have someone lunge at you and you have to retreat, and you fail the drill if you step too far, or obviously if you don't step far enough to hit you. You have to like get it within like an inch. That's the goal of the drill.
I still think it's very close to the you can do one very close to the tire drill that Lemmy had.
Yeah,
Right.
that too.
Make a big square. Have someone keep a foot in it all the time.
We did something similar where it's like once you once you had gotten into engagement, like you were actually the blows were being thrown, you weren't allowed to like retreat at that point. You had to only go forward.
Okay. It takes one person to actually like have a little bit of an active coaching role in that too, right? To
Yeah,
start with.
and this was back when I was pretty new and we had like supervised
Gotcha.
like coaching while we were sparring and stuff. And so it was like, hey, here's the exercise. Once you engage, don't exit engagement. And if people would fuck it up sometimes, then they'd be like, oh, you did it wrong.
I mean, I warm up with people getting like cross blades, and you can't like release contact with a blade except to throw a shot. And if you miss the shot, you lose.
Yeah.
It was like pushing back and forth in range and footwork, and then twisting, and then stab. That's a good warm up. Very cool.
That makes sense. Yeah, I like that. There's a lot of variants on the same kind of exercises, basically. But they're all
Be
good to like,
precise, not too far, but fast.
yeah, and to like learn to be comfortable in the chaos of the fight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that really
I'm
is
sure
a big
that's
part of it.
good. Did you have to work on that, Booney, being comfortable in the chaos? Because the chaos in a heavy fight is way different, I would assume.
Yes, definitely. Oh, it was me. Comfortability was being okay with getting hit and having it leave a bruise, like that level of being hit. Because I was like flinching away from stuff at the very beginning, which is very normal. You don't
Sure. Yeah. That flinch resistance.
and just training that out of my system. And some of that came with just wearing more pads to start until I got better at actually defending myself. And now I wear less pads than I did.
I will admit that one of the other reasons that I haven't really done heavy is because of like, there's a lot of people that don't want to hit me with a stick.
That you do or don't want to hit with a stick?
I do not want them to hit me with a stick.
Oh, that you do not want to be hit by God.
I mean, I don't want them to hit me with a stick either.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's some people like, okay, you can hit me with a stick because I have armor and a shield. There's some people who are like, nope, I'm not going to play that game.
No, I totally get it. Yeah.
I think that comes with the privilege of being able to hit other people with a stick.
It does.
To me, I'm like, you know what?
Disagree at all whatsoever.
I get to. If you don't take that shot to the head, or you were a little bit, talk that little bit of shit last night, I get to put a wrap into the, the base of your glute if I want to.
Yeah. It is.
That's no butt armor.
Yeah, there's no butt armor.
Yeah.
Generally,
it is really fun to hit someone hard, like
to clonk somebody else.
Like when they if you hit someone in the butt and they react and
they do a little hop and like, ooh.
Hop? Ah. Yeah. Oh, it's so satisfying.
It really is. It is. Yep. Yeah. You get across both cheeks. Oh man.
I'm sure that there's a ton of kinetic satisfaction in the whole thing. For sure.
Yeah.
But I totally get you. Like, there are some people like I don't want Sven to hit me as hard as he could. Like, that would be miserable.
Right?
Or
I don't want Kuhn to hit me with anything.
Yeah.
Kuhn, he can generate, but he doesn't generate a ton of power like in his tournament. Like he's pretty like he'll hit in the middle.
Akbar can get stuffed. I'm not letting him hit me with anything.
Yeah. Don't be under his hammer. Grab a spear. Grab a spear and be outside of that measure. Then you're fine. That's how that works.
Exactly.
He's
I did not want Vlad to hit me with a polearm ever.
Same concept. Stay outside the measure.
The one I'm actually the most.
Yeah, Brian. Oh, good luck.
Yeah, Brian with a 2x4. Yep.
2x4 sword.
Yep. I've been hit by it.
Our Rags is the guy that I'm most like. Please be nice to me.
Yeah, he's a beast from what I hear.
When I fight him, if he touches me with a stick, I just say good and let it be on him. He's like, yeah, I could have hit you harder, but I'm just being nice. Like I give it to him to call it back.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few people that I'm like that with. When I know
he's normally willing to be nice, so if you just let him like.
Right. Yeah.
You're like, okay, we get it. I know you're better than me. I'm not here to try to like prove anything. Just here to.
Hey, you don't want to get that eyebrow from him.
Yeah.
I get that.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's how you get. Yeah, that's how
you get lit up. Yep.
It's just not the kind of bruising I enjoy.
No.
For me, that is there's a mix there, right? Sometimes it's a little fun to egg it on and kind of draw out a more intense fight.
Yeah. I feel like I would have to hit a certain plateau before I would be like egging anybody on.
Yes.
Yeah. A certain quality of fight definitely matters.
Yeah.
All right.
At a certain point. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I'm gonna bounce for the evening. I'm gonna get up early tomorrow.
Yeah.
You guys are welcome to chill in Discord if you wish. Chat, thank you for hanging out tonight. Thank you again, Sven. I know I don't know if you're gonna watch this VOD, but thank you again for coming in and teaching us cool things. I look forward to trying to throw a stick at you at Adult Swim. Chat, we'll catch you next time, maybe tomorrow night. We'll see. All right, goodbye.